Opening the era of black technology. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 126. I must follow the contract. Yes, Jin Wenwen agreed and went out directly. Su Pinggan also began to clean the tea table and tea sets, clean the teapot, soak the teacups, and then stood up and walked to the door. With a ding sound, the elevator door opened. Jin Wenwen walked out of the elevator with 3 foreigners, and Su Pinggan also saw the 3 people. The voice of Xingling came to his mind. There is no problem with the other party's identity. Su Pinggan was relieved, and according to the identity comparison in his mind, he took 2 steps forward. Mr. Mikhail, welcome to Shanghai Company, Su Pinggan said with a smile, and stretched out his right hand. We came a little suddenly. I hope Mr. Su will not be offended. Mikhail was also very polite and shook hands with Su Pinggan. Please, Su Pinggan made a gesture of invitation and led the 3 people into the room. After the door was closed, Jin Wenwen immediately called the municipal government according to Su Pinggan's request. The person who answered the phone was Chen Qingshan's secretary. Jin Wenwen was not polite at all. Please ask the mayor to answer the phone. It must be. Things are delayed. We are not responsible for anything. Jin Wenwen's dominance made Chen Qingshan's secretary a little confused. Did something big happen? She dared not neglect it. Chen Qingshan had told her to notify Su Pinggan as soon as possible. She immediately came to the door of Chen Qingshan's office and knocked on the door. Come in. Chen Qingshan's voice came over, and the secretary pushed the door open. In addition to Chen Qingshan, there were 2 directors in the room who were discussing something. The secretary walked up to Chen Qingshan quickly and whispered the matter. Chen Qingshan was stunned and nodded. The secretary handed the phone to Chen Qingshan. I am Chen Qingshan, what's the matter? Chen Qingshan asked. Mayor Chen, General Manager Su asked me to inform you that a Russian ambassador to our country has just arrived at Shanghai Company, Jin Wenwen said truthfully. What? Chen Qingshan stood up in surprise. His face changed a little. The 2 directors sitting on the sofa were startled and looked at each other. They had a feeling that something big had happened. It must be no small matter to make the mayor's face change. General Manager Su just asked Mr. Ambassador to come to the office for a talk, and asked me to notify the mayor immediately, Jin Wenwen said truthfully. Okay, I got it. Let your General Manager Su rest assured, Chen Qingshan said and hung up the phone. Lao Zhang, Lao Ma, let's discuss it another day, he said, and walked out directly to Lu Qingfang's office in the next door compound. Su Pinggan let the 3 people into the office, and everyone sat down on the sofa. Mr. Ambassador, are you used to drinking tea? Su Pinggan asked with a smile. Su, I have been in the Celestial Empire for 6 years, and the indispensable drink every day is tea, Mikhail said with a smile, speaking the Celestial Empire very fluently. Su Pinggan nodded and immediately began to make tea. Soon, he served a cup to each of the 3 people and also served a cup for himself. Mr. Ambassador, these 2 are. Su Pinggan looked at the 2 people who came with Mikhail. Su, let me introduce you. This is the staff member that our country has just sent, Deputy Ambassador Peter, and this is the representative of our Ministry of Defense, Bilekov. Mikhail introduced the 2 sides. Su Pinggan shook hands with both of them and said politely, please, taste my craftsmanship. Several people picked up their teacups and began to taste the tea. After drinking a cup of tea, Su Pinggan picked up the teapot and filled all the cups again, then put down the teapot. I don't know what the ambassador is here for this time, Su Pinggan asked. Su, super paint, Mikhail said as he looked at Su Pinggan. This is a good thing. I wonder how much the ambassador is going to buy, Su Pinggan said with a smile. Su, we want to buy a large batch. I hope you can agree to pay in batches. At the same time, we cannot accept the price of 3,500 euros per barrel. Mikhail looked at Su Pinggan and stated his request. I'm sorry, I can't help you with this matter. I gave Aubrey a death order. First, the price of 3,500 euros per barrel will not be reduced by a penny. Second, we are not responsible for delivery. Third, you can pick up the goods after payment. I can't overturn my own order, Su Pinggan directly refused, very straightforwardly. Mikhail looked at Su Pinggan and felt very difficult. Su Pinggan's performance was completely different from other entrepreneurs. If it were another company, even a state-owned enterprise, what he said would be nothing. I didn't expect Su Pinggan to refuse so straightforwardly. Su, we are friendly countries, Mikhail said to Su Pinggan. Mr. Ambassador, it is precisely because we are friendly countries that I will agree to the company to conduct experiments in your country, in order to make up for your major shortcomings and shorten the gap between your warships and the United States. To be honest, I received a notice yesterday that Europe has generated another 300 million euros order. Cash, I must execute according to the contract, Su Pinggan said slowly. Mikhail frowned, and didn't expect that there would be a second order so soon. Also, the British military has contacted Aubrey and plans to conduct experiments. I believe you know what this means. The value of superpaint cannot be refused by any country, Su Pinggan said seriously. Mikhail knew the meaning of the words very well. My products are not worried about selling, and there is no need to reduce the price and deposit for you. You must follow my rules. Su, if our Russian military purchases on a large scale, it will be a qualitative improvement for your company's reputation. I think we can't pay for nothing. Mikhail immediately changed his strategy. Mr. Ambassador, please speak freely. If it is appropriate, I will seriously consider it, Su Pinggan said slowly. Mikhail nodded and began to negotiate with Su Pinggan. It was very simple. The two sides held a press conference. The large-scale purchase of the Russian military would definitely be a huge publicity for the superpaint of Apocalypse after the news came out. Correspondingly, Apocalypse Company must give Russia concessions and even agree to pay in batches. Su Pinggan shook his head after listening. Ambassador, now, we will not agree to the price of 2,000 euros per barrel. If you really want to cooperate, the price is 3,300 euros per barrel, cash, and we are not responsible for delivery. At the same time, a press conference must be held. I will not agree to other conditions. This is the last concession, Su Pinggan stated his bottom line very straightforwardly. Mikhail and the other two looked at each other, all with a helpless look on their faces. The other party had no shortage of orders. And there was only one factory producing them. All of the orders were lined up, and the opponent was stronger than the person, so they could only slowly grind. Mikhail began to bargain with Su Pinggan. The two of them bargained for almost half an hour and finally reached a consensus. The price was 3,300 euros per barrel, and Shyanki Company would give away 5,000 barrels for free. The Russian military purchased 5 billion euros worth of goods, and Shyanki would not be responsible for delivery. Chapter 127. Is it gold? The two sides also agreed to hold a press conference after the payment was received within 3 days. Bang, the 4 small teacups clinked together, and the matter was settled. Su Pinggan notified Wu Sike to come over and drafted the contract. The contract was faxed to Russia, and soon there was an approval reply. At noon that day, Su Pinggan signed the contract with Belekov and Mikhail. Su Pinggan immediately asked Jin Wenwen to arrange it and have a good drink at noon. Now we just have to wait for the 5 billion euros from Russia to arrive. After the payment, we can arrange production. Picking up the goods is Russia's business. Su Pinggan doesn't worry about it. Just like France, the people from CMACGM have already set off to China. After the products are produced, they will be picked up directly. At noon, Su Pinggan, Wu Sike, Felina, Mikhail, Peter, Belekov, 6 people ate and drank in the best restaurant. The matter was settled, and they were all very relieved. In the city, in Lu Qingfang's office, the two of them had serious faces and sat there without saying a word. The matter had been reported to the province, and the province didn't know what the Russian ambassador was doing at Shyanki Group. Ambassadors of other countries can conduct business negotiations with enterprises of their own countries. This is known. Ambassadors of the Celestial Empire also meet and talk with many entrepreneurs in other countries. This is a normal business activity and cannot be interfered. Now we can only wait for the news from Su Pinggan. At about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Su Pinggan returned to the company and came to the door of the office. If the mayor comes later, just bring him in directly. After explaining to Jin Wenwen, Su Pinggan went into the office, fell on the sofa and began to sleep. Mr. Su, Mr. Su, Mr. Su, Jin Wenwen called out again and again, and Su Pinggan opened his eyes for a long time. The mayor and the senior officials are here, Jin Wenwen said directly, and Su Pinggan sat up. I'm sorry for the neglect, please forgive me, Su Pinggan said with a smile, and Chen Qingshan and Lu Qingfang shook their heads helplessly. Su Pinggan asked the two to sit down, and went to the bathroom to wash up. He washed his face twice with cold water, and felt much more awake. He cleaned up and came out. Chen Qingshan came to Su Pingyan many times, and he was not polite. He had already boiled water and made tea. Su Pingyan came back and poured Su Pingyan a cup of tea. The three of them raised their glasses and clinked them together, then took a sip. The sip of tea made Su Pingyan's dry throat feel much better. Mikhail and his two friends were really good drinkers. Several people finished a bottle of Maute. Felina didn't drink, Wu Sike drank a glass, and the rest was finished by Su Pingyan, Mikhail and his two friends. "What's the matter with the Russian ambassador coming here?" Chen Qingshan asked. "To purchase my paint," Su Pingyan said truthfully. Not only the Russian ambassador came, but also representatives from the Russian Ministry of Defense. "The Russian army purchased 5 billion euros of my paint," Su Pingyan said seriously, looking at the two of them. Sissy, Lu Qingfang and Chen Qingshan both took a breath of cold air. It was impossible for the two of them not to be surprised that the Russian military purchased paint from the Apocalypse paint factory. "Is Russia crazy? Why would it buy your paint?" Chen Qingshan blurted out with an unbelieving tone. "Why can't it buy my paint? Tell me, why can't it?" Su Pingyan said directly with an unhappy face. Chen Qingshan was stunned for a moment, and didn't say anything with a thoughtful expression, knowing that he had said the wrong thing. Pingyan, the mayor, was a little anxious, but he also asked the point. "What is the difference between your paint and other manufacturers?" Lu Qingfang asked seriously. "It's very simple. Using my paint can allow the Russian military's warships to use it for more than 5 years, Su Pingyan said bluntly. "You are not kidding." Lu Qingfang was not calm, and so was Chen Qingshan next to him, with a look of astonishment on his face. "I am not kidding. Not only Russia has purchased it, but 2 shipping companies in France and Spain have already placed orders for 800 million euros, 3,500 euros per barrel, Su Pingyan said with a smile. Chen Qingshan and Lu Qingfang were completely shocked this time. They never dreamed that Su Pingyan actually launched such a large satellite, and had already signed a contract with a foreign country and received the payment. "Pingyan, why don't you contact our military for such a product?" "What do you mean?" Chen Qingshan stared at Su Pingyan with a serious face. Usually Su Pingyan would accept it, but now Su Pingyan sells such a sharp weapon to foreign countries instead of domestic ones. He would not agree to it no matter what. If Su Pingyan's answer does not satisfy him, he would rather be punished by his superiors than close down Shianki Paint Company. "I contacted them, but they don't want my product. What can I do?" Su Pingyan stared at Chen Qingshan and said very impolitely. Chen Qingshan opened his mouth but had nothing to say. Lu Qingfang next to him also frowned. "After the product research was successful, the first person I contacted was the relevant procurement department. There was no response at all. They only said to me, 'Go back and wait for news.' If there is no news for half a month, it is unqualified." I urged them 3 times, but there was no news. "What can I do? Tell me, what should I do?" Su Pingyan asked the two directly. Both Lu Qingfang and Chen Qingshan were speechless. The two left Su Pingyan with gloomy faces and returned to Lu Qingfang's office. Lu Qingfang made a detailed telephone report to his superiors. This matter was not a trivial matter. It could allow the warship to be used for 5 more years, which meant that this was a black technology product. It was a crime to give it up like this. After listening to Lu Qingfang's report, the provincial leaders also frowned. This matter involved special procurement, and it must be done with caution. Besides, if you contact the relevant procurement department without a capable person to speak or recommend, there will definitely be no news. This is a routine. The only way now is to report it and let the superiors make the decision. The next day, the Russian funds arrived. Su Pingyan arranged for someone to issue a notice immediately. 2 days later, Shianki Group held a press conference and announced a major event. The news spread quickly, and major media personnel began to gather in J-City. 2 days later, Su Pingyan, Mikhail and Belikov, a representative of the Russian Ministry of Defense, attended the press conference and announced on the spot that the Russian military purchased 5 billion euros of super paint, 10 L per barrel, with a unit price of 3,500 euros, and the funds had been deposited into the account of Shianki Paint Company. When the reporters heard the news, they were all shocked. Was it a mistake? Russia actually purchased paint from a Chinese paint factory. What was so good about Shianki Paint Factory's super paint? And the price was so high, 3,500 euros per barrel. Was it filled with gold? Su Pingyan announced that Shianki Paint Factory would abide by the contract, produce on time and with quality, and deliver to Russia as soon as possible. The freight would be borne by Russia. This made people even more unbelievable. Chapter 128. It's better to leave it alone. Everyone was confused and couldn't figure out what kind of paint the Apocalypse Paint Company produced. This was a strategy to whet your appetite, get you interested, and do it yourself to clear the fog in front of you. Only in this way can more people be interested in super paint. Curiosity is a natural talent of human beings, and no one can be immune. The next day, overwhelming news began to bombard the eyes of people across the country. Everyone had a question in their mind. What kind of paint did the Apocalypse Company produce that made the Russians so willing to spend so much? Now is the internet age, and news spreads quickly around the world. What happened in China soon spread all over the world. Everyone who saw the news was confused. Is the Russian Ministry of Defense crazy? Purchasing paint from a Chinese company, can China produce good paint? This news began to ferment, and everyone wanted to know what kind of paint the Apocalypse Paint Company produced. A 10L barrel actually sold for €3,500. Is it crazy, or has it really achieved a technological breakthrough? From ordinary people to senior officials and parliamentarians, and with the help of the global media, there is only one topic of discussion: what kind of paint is the Apocalypse Paint? As a result, the French media made a breakthrough and launched a special program to introduce this super paint. After a vivid analysis, the mystery of the super paint was unveiled, which shocked the military of many countries. There is no need to clean the attachments on the bottom of the ship within 10 years. It is completely resistant to seawater corrosion and parasites. Through this change, the life of sea vessels and warships can be extended by more than 5 years, and the minimum extension time is more than 5 years. It is not impossible for you to maintain it better for a longer time. This is an incredible data. Now the economy of various countries is not good. If super paint is used, the country will save a lot of money, and everyone is tempted. In addition, the column also highlights the effectiveness of the current warship paints of various countries. The best one in the United States is 5 years, and the validity period of other countries is generally about 3 years. Now, the super paint of Apocalypse Paint Company has come out, breaking the monopoly of DuPont Paint Company in the United States. The price DuPont Company gave to the U.S. military was $1,300 per barrel, 15L bucket, and now the price of Apocalypse Paint Company is 10L bucket, €3,500 per barrel. The effect of Apocalypse Super Paint is twice that of DuPont. Moreover, the sales plan adopted by Shyanki Company is payment first and goods later, and it is not responsible for delivery. Such an overbearing approach further proves the effect of super paint. Not to mention, foreign countries really recognize this approach. My product is the first, I have the right to be so arrogant. The top leaders of the Shyanchao were also very unhappy. They did not blame Shyanki Company, but were full of disgust for some dereliction of duty. The materials and samples provided by Shyanki Company were not reported at all because the reception staff did not get any benefits. The anti-corruption agency immediately took action. Many personnel retired due to illness, and more personnel retired directly. At the same time, a special person was sent to J City to purchase new paint from Shyanki Group. Lu Qingfang and Yu Chen Qingshan accompanied them. It was very smooth. Su Pingyan directly agreed to give Shyanchao the best price, €3,000 per barrel, which was a price that no one could get. Su Pingyan was so straightforward that the purchasing staff was embarrassed to bargain. The contract was signed directly. Shyanchao purchased €6 billion of paint. After the payment was received, it was shipped in order. Both parties were happy. After the news spread, the world was shocked again. In just a few days, Shyanki Paint Company received orders of more than €10 billion. How much money Shyanki Group will make is really enviable. Especially the news that Shyanki Group is tax-free in China has made foreign companies crazy. Everyone knows that Shyanki Group is a powerful giant company. With only super fish oil and super paint in hand, it is easy to make 10 or 20 billion euros every year. But Shyanki Group is still a private enterprise, which makes many foreign entrepreneurs unbearable. They are envious and jealous, and have learned this sentence from China. Especially the inventor of the project Miao Yuang. Miao Yuang's experience has also been dug up by domestic and foreign reporters, making many people want to bang their heads against the wall, especially Pang Qiwan of Heilong Anti-Corrosion Research Institute. After reading the newspaper, he slapped his right hand a few times. He hated that he would sign so simply to let Miao Yuang leave. If he had known that Miao Yuan was so powerful, he would let Miao Yuan lead, and this super paint would belong to him. Money, more than 10 billion euros. Director Pang was so angry that he had a cerebral hemorrhage and vomited blood and was admitted to the hospital. The luckiest boy of this century, this topic has once again swept the screen, and it has swept the screen all over the world, directly occupying the first place in the hot searches of many major countries in the world. Only Dr. Luck and Professor Naren shook their heads after reading the media reports. Su Pinggan holds the future in his hands, and the two are more certain of this. Unfortunately, neither of them is willing to disclose this news, which will not benefit them in any way. The United States and the White House have also begun to discuss the matter of super paint, especially the contract signed between Apocalypse Company and the Russian military. Russia's economy has been sanctioned, and it is difficult to develop military industry. The only ones who can support their face are some old warships. Originally, it was thought that without the addition of new warships, those old warships would not last for a few years, and they would only be able to lie in the port at that time, and there would be no threat at all. Now if the super paint of Apocalypse is used, the service life will be extended by a few years, which is unacceptable to Americans. Weakening Russia's military strength is the national policy of the United States. How can Russia's military strength be maintained? Something must be done. But this matter is not so easy to handle. Xianqi Group is a Chinese company, and the United States has no jurisdiction over it. China will not take into account the protests of Americans. Besides, the lips and teeth are cold, and China will definitely not agree to ban the supply to Russia. How about sanctioning Xianqi Group? The black-faced president looked at the military leaders and the Secretary of State and others and said, "President, you have to consider one thing. Every country cannot do without super fish oil. What if Apocalypse Group raises the price of super fish oil in the United States? This is not a good thing for the president." Another thing is that Apocalypse Group has investments in Europe. Europe will not agree to cooperate on the issue of super fish oil. The tsunami has just passed, and Apocalypse Group has also made donations. The South Pacific countries will certainly not cooperate, and the most important problem is that we have been blocking DuPont's super paint before, and various countries have complaints. Now Apocalypse's super paint has finally appeared, and many countries need it very much. Their economy is not good, and they want to use their warships for a few more years. They will definitely purchase super paint at any cost and will never cooperate with our sanctions. In this way, if we announce sanctions against other countries that do not cooperate, it will reduce our country's credibility. It is better to let it go. The Secretary of State looked at the president seriously and said, "If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels." Chapter 129. I have another box of similar invitations. "Do you mean we should do nothing?" the black-faced president said with an unhappy look. "President, I don't suggest doing nothing for the time being, because many ships of our military and navy department have reached the time for maintenance, and we also need to purchase them. Of course, this requires the president's approval." A white-haired general of the military looked at the president and said something. "You are not allowed to purchase products from China, especially military ones," the president said immediately. "This is a matter of principle and there is no compromise. President, if we don't purchase, we need to increase military spending. DuPont's products can't last for 5 years. We must maintain them at most once every 4 years, otherwise our warships will lie in the port." "What's the matter? I remember DuPont said that it can be used for more than 5 years, the president asked the general with his eyes shining. DuPont replied that the corrosion of seawater has increased. It's not a paint problem, but the seawater pollution is more serious. The original products can only be guaranteed for 4 years now, no more." The general said this very naturally. After hearing this, the president's face became even darker. "A bunch of profiteers, isn't it just to ask for more money? Your patriotism has been eaten by dogs." Rubbing his head, "It's difficult. Congress may not approve the money. Mr. President, I remind you that Xianqi Company arranges the delivery of goods according to the payment time of customers, including China. If the Russian goods are not delivered, China's goods cannot be supplied. If we delay, other countries will place orders, and our use time will be extended again. Also, after Russia and China use super paint, It will make up for a big shortboard. We have analyzed the data of this paint internally. Using this paint will improve the life and speed of warships. Moreover, it is more environmentally friendly and much less toxic than DuPont's. In the future, if we continue to use DuPont's products, environmental protection organizations will definitely make trouble. At that time, we will spend more money, the general said to the president very seriously. It can be seen that the president is irritable, but there are things that cannot be said. If you don't say it, it will be your responsibility in the future. If you say it, it is the president's business if the president does not adopt it, and it has nothing to do with you, so you can only bite the bullet and speak. After discussing for a long time, there was no result, so it could only be postponed temporarily. The military was not very enthusiastic. Shyanki Group did not give kickbacks, so how could the military be enthusiastic? You know, American military-industrial enterprises gave a lot of kickbacks to generals. In J-City, China, Aubrey has returned and is reporting to Su Pingyan in his office. In addition to the French CMA-CGM shipping companies in Greece, Portugal, and Italy have placed orders with Aubrey. As for the British side that Su Pingyan told the Russian ambassador, it was completely nonsense. The three shipping companies gave orders of 1.3 billion. They can only supply after the production of the goods in China is completed. They must follow the order. Otherwise, you will offend everyone. Very good, Aubrey. Your bonus this year will reflect your hard work. Miao Yuan will soon be back from vacation and will develop civilian paint products. You will be very busy at that time. With a reputation of super paint, other paints will definitely have a good sales volume, Su Pingyan said with a smile. I believe this 100%, boss. I have analyzed that we will have to increase a lot of orders for a while, because many European countries have already started to discuss with their own military. Once they have a result, it will definitely be a big order, Aubrey said with a smile. Su Pingyan also laughed. This is all money. He doesn't need to worry about money in the short term. Aubrey drank some tea and left. Su Pingyan sat there and thought seriously for a while, picked up the phone and started dialing. Not long after, the call was connected. Boss, Buck's voice came from the phone. Buck, please arrange to come to China with York and Gavin. I have something to tell you, Su Pingyan said calmly. Okay, boss, we will set off as soon as possible, Buck said seriously. Su Pingyan talked to him for a while and hung up the phone directly. Su Pingyan raised his hand to drink the tea in the cup, stood up and walked to the door, opened the door. Wenwen, notify lawyer Wu and ask him to come. Su Pingyan looked at Jin Wenwen and said directly. Okay, Mr. Su, Jin Wenwen said directly, picked up the phone and started to notify, while Su Pingyan returned to the office. Not long after, Wu Sikei came over. As Su Pingyan's personal lawyer, Wu Sikei's status in the Apocalypse Group was very transcendent. Su Pingyan poured tea and drank it slowly with Wu Sikei. Tomorrow you go to the finance department to get 300,000 yuan, go to the relevant departments in the city, say it is a donation to the city's children's welfare home, and then come back with a receipt, Su Pingyan said seriously. It's a small matter, I will do it tomorrow, but you have to say hello to Lao Ho. Without you, Lao Ho, this stingy man, will not spend a penny, Wu Sikei said with a smile, and Su Pingyan also smiled. Ho Minghei's deductions are obvious to the entire Apocalypse Group. As long as your financial order is not up to standard, the money will be deducted immediately. Moreover, many grants not only require Su Pingyan's signature, but also need to call Su Pingyan to verify, otherwise, there will be no money. By the way, do I need to notify the reporter about this matter? Wu Sikei asked. No need. There is no need to notify any reporters when doing charity. It is just a way for enterprises to give back to the society. There is no need to make a big fuss, Su Pingyan said calmly, and Wu Sikei nodded. While the two were talking, there was a knock on the door. Su Pingyan frowned and said, Come in. Jin Wenwen came in and reported, Mr. Su, the mayor is here and has already got on the elevator. I'll go to see Lao Ho in the afternoon, Wu Sikei said as he stood up. Su Pingyan must personally receive the mayor when he came. If there was nothing else, he could just leave to avoid delaying the mayor's business. Okay, I'll see you off, Su Pingyan said directly, understanding what Wu Sikei meant. After seeing Wu Sikei off, he just happened to welcome Chen Qingshan in. Su Pingyan poured tea for Chen Qingshan. Mr. Mayor, what advice do you have for me today? Su Pingyan said with a smile. Good thing, take a look. Chen Qingshan was not polite either. After saying that, he handed an invitation to Su Pinggan, picked up the teacup and began to drink tea, leisurely. Su Pinggan opened it and saw that it was a forum for young entrepreneurs held in Shanghai, which would be held on the 5th of next month. He closed it and put it on the table. Su Pinggan had received many invitations of this kind and threw them all away without attending any of them. I have another box of similar invitations over there. A bunch of people are praising each other. This kind of forum is meaningless, Su Pinggan said indifferently, not interested in these forums at all. Chapter 130, Different Principles, Different Aspirations. Pinggan, this is a heavyweight event. If you don't go, you will suffer a lot. Chen Qingshan looked at Su Pinggan and said directly. Su Pinggan is high profile in his work and low-key in his personality. The senior management is very satisfied with this. But you can't be too low-key. After all, the status of Shanghai Group is here. If you keep a low profile, many people will have wild thoughts. What's the loss? If I go, I can get a tax exemption extension. If I can, I will go immediately. I don't need them to arrange a hotel. How about it? Su Pinggan looked at Chen Qingshan and said directly. Puff. Chen Qingshan directly sprayed the tea in his mouth. Su Pinggan turned sideways to avoid it, looking at Chen Qingshan with an unhappy face. Do you really want to? Chen Qingshan took a few pieces of paper from the side and wiped his mouth. You are really greedy. If you are given tax exemption again, the people of the whole country will not agree. Chen Qingshan looked at Su Pinggan and said directly. Damn, 4 years of tax exemption. Do you know how much money the city has lost? All the leaders in the city are waiting for you to pass the tax exemption period. A large amount of tax revenue will be collected slowly. You are still thinking about tax exemption. You are so greedy. Mayor Zhang in Hangzhou is already planning to give me preferential policies. Don't you have any response? My headquarters is in J City. Su Pinggan looked at Chen Qingshan and said enthusiastically. The tax-free period will be in October next year. And Su Pinggan must put this matter on the agenda. Humph, when did your investment exceed Hangzhou, and when did you tell me about this? Chen Qingshan said unhappily. Su Pinggan smiled and understood Chen Qingshan's resentment. To tell you the truth, because of your investment in Hangzhou, I and the senior officials of Lu have been criticized a lot. You still have the nerve to ask me for preferential treatment. It's good that I don't punish you. Chen Qingshan really has a lot of opinions about Su Pinggan. He has been reprimanded by his superiors not 3 or 5 times, but dozens of times. Let's talk about business. I won't go to this forum. It's boring. I'm too lazy to move recently. I don't even want to go. Su Pinggan directly changed the subject. Chen Qingshan is so resentful now, so let's talk about it another day. There must be preferential policies. The key is how much? Do you know how many people are going to pay to show up at the forum, but you are not going? Chen Qingshan did not understand Su Pinggan's idea. Tisk, those people are counting on showing up at the forum and getting paid. I can't get any benefits if I go. It's a waste of my time. Why should I go? And knowing those people won't bring me any benefits either, Su Pinggan said indifferently. It's not just Su Pinggan who has this idea. Mabo and Lin Yide also have this idea. They have received many forum invitations, but they all refused them without even considering them, because they felt that it was meaningless. Pinggan, this time it's a forum for young entrepreneurs held by the Magic City municipal government, and all the people who come are very famous young entrepreneurs. You really don't want to go, and don't want to meet some young talents, Chen Qingshan said to Su Pinggan. I know you are low-key, but you are too low-key. If you don't show up, there will be rumors. Your Shanghai Group is so famous, and if you don't show up, where will others put their faces? If Su Pinggan, who is so young and promising, doesn't come, the level of the forum will instantly drop by several levels. The old generation of entrepreneurs are getting old, and the new generation of entrepreneurs are taking over. It is important to listen to the views of the young generation of entrepreneurs on the economy and collect opinions so as to adjust policies. This is the purpose of Shanghai to hold this forum. Shanghai is very clear about Su Pinggan's low profile. They are very worried that Su Pinggan will not attend, so they sent the invitation to Chen Qingshan to persuade Su Pinggan to attend. After all, Su Pinggan is the most popular young entrepreneur and is very famous internationally. If Su Pinggan does not attend, it will at least cause random speculation abroad. A reputation of not paying attention to young entrepreneurship is inevitable. At the same time, The purpose of holding this forum is difficult to achieve, because other young entrepreneurs do not have Su Pinggan's reputation and influence. What's the point of knowing them? They always ask you for financing and guarantees. It's annoying. I am not on the same path with them. There is nothing to talk about, Su Pinggan said nonchalantly, not taking these people to heart at all. Chen Qingshan shook his head and smiled bitterly. Now he understood why the leader of Shanghai called him and asked him to send the invitation. This was not so easy to accomplish. It was not easy. Su Pinggan was a bit stubborn. Pinggan, if you want preferential policies, you must have capital. Investment is one aspect, government recognition is another, and reputation is another. If you get recognition this time, it will be very good for you. An outstanding young entrepreneur will definitely be supported by the state and local governments. Think about it carefully, Chen Qingshan said meaningfully to Su Pinggan. Su Pinggan rubbed his head. Chen Qingshan had said so much? If he refused again, he would be giving Chen Qingshan no face. He rubbed his head and looked at Chen Qingshan with a helpless look on his face. Mayor, I'm giving you face. Can't I go? This is because you, the mayor, have come forward. If it were someone else, I would just pretend to be sick and be hospitalized instead of going, Su Pinggan said helplessly. Chen Qingshan nodded, believing what Su Pinggan said, and he also saw that Su Pinggan really didn't want to go. And this time he went there to give himself face, so he picked up the teapot and poured a cup of tea for Su Pinggan. Pinggan, can you tell me why you don't want to participate in the forum? Chen Qingshan asked seriously. Su Pinggan raised his teacup and clinked it with Chen Qingshan, and they drank together, and picked up the teapot to fill them up again. Mayor, participating in the forum can increase your popularity, expand your network of contacts, and have a lot of benefits for the company. I know this very well. But will the popularity help my Shianqi now? I don't know how many people are in my Shianqi company now. Another thing is, what are those people doing to expand their network of contacts? To build relationships or promote business, but my Shianqi business has nothing to do with them. My products focus on earning foreign exchange. They are no longer on the same level as me. It's not an exaggeration to say that they are short-sighted. They are looking at China, and I am looking at the global market. Another thing is that I am investing heavily in scientific research, and these people are fooling around with financing, then going public, and making money by cutting leaks in the stock market. Mayor, do you really think I have a common language with them? Su Pinggan looked at Chen Qingshan and said seriously. Chen Qingshan was stunned after hearing Su Pinggan's words. After thinking carefully, Su Pinggan did not blindly refuse to participate in the forum, but really had a different route from those entrepreneurs. Different paths do not work together. Participating in the forum will not bring any help to Su Pinggan, but it is better not to participate. Chapter 131 Success and Failure are due to apocalypse. Su Pinggan saw through these people, so he refused to participate in the forum. Those ordinary forums Su Pinggan went to were just to increase the level of the forum by taking advantage of Su Pinggan's fame. Chen Qingshan looked at Su Pinggan seriously and felt that he had underestimated Su Pinggan's wisdom before. Just when he was about to speak, answer the phone, why don't you answer the phone? The phone rang again, and Su Pinggan made an apologetic gesture and answered the phone, because the call was from Lin Yide. Sandizi, what do you want from me? Su Pinggan said with a smile. Go away, don't make me angry, Lin Yide said unhappily. Who is so bold as to make you so angry? Su Pinggan asked curiously, not caring about Lin Yide's tone at all. There is a forum for young entrepreneurs in the Magic City, and they actually let me participate through my dad's relationship. What's the point of that kind of forum? It's boring to death. Tell me, am I angry? Lin Yide said directly. The temporary electrical company founded by Lin Yide has been fighting against many old electrical companies on the internet. Jingai brand electrical appliances are now also a well-known brand in the country. According to the attention of online users, they trust the quality of Jingai products and are also famous. If he has time to participate in the forum, he might as well go to other blank markets to develop a few dealers. Participating in the forum is a complete waste of time. This is Lin Yide's idea. Su Pinggan was stunned and looked at Chen Qingshan. It's okay. The organizing committee of the forum held in the Magic City is very powerful. They actually found Lin Yide's father and found the mayor on their side. Chen Qingshan also smiled. Boy, you are good at business, but you are still far behind in other aspects. It is not so easy to get rid of human relationships. Why are you angry? I also received an invitation. The big boss of our city personally sent it to me, and he also put a knife on my neck. If I don't agree, he will cut me directly, Su Pinggan said directly. He has a good personal relationship with Chen Qingshan. They will laugh off a joke. It's because the relationship between the two is so close that Su Pinggan dares to speak like this. With a puff, Chen Qingshan couldn't help but spit out the tea in his mouth again. He looked at Su Pinggan with resentment on his face. You kid actually made up such a story about me. I will settle accounts with you later. Is that so? I feel much better now, Lin Yide said directly. Damn, I despise you, Su Pinggan said unhappily. He understood Lin Yide's mood very well. Sharing one more person's pain would make you feel good. He had experienced this many times. Okay, let's participate this time. I'll call the boss and Winun to see if they have invitations. If they do, the four of us can find a room to play mahjong, Lin Yide said directly. Okay, that's just what I want. I'll tell our boss in a while that you can participate, but you will never speak, Su Pinggan said with a smile. Zioanzi, you know my intention very well, Lin Yide said and hung up directly, and then laughed alone. Asshole, Su Pinggan heard the sound of the phone disconnecting, and yelled directly, very unhappy. Mayor, you heard me, I won't speak, Su Pinggan said while looking at Chen Qingshan. Chen Qingshan smiled bitterly. You really make me worry, Chen Qingshan said helplessly. Thank you, Mayor. How about we have a drink at noon, Su Pinggan said directly. Okay, don't give me that, I don't have time at noon, Chen Qingshan refused directly. He had to see off his old friend at noon, so he really didn't have time to chat with Su Pinggan. Su Pinggan saw Chen Qingshan off and returned to the room, feeling relieved. He was in the arena and couldn't help himself. Now he understood the meaning of this sentence very well. Answer the phone. Why don't you answer the phone? The phone rang again. Su Pinggan picked up the phone and saw that it was Mabo's call, and answered it directly. Pinggan, I heard from Sandizi that you also received the invitation, Mabo asked directly. From what you said, you also have one, Su Pinggan said directly. Just like Sandizi, my dad gave it to me after going to the meeting in the city, and I had to go. I just contacted Winun, and he also received it, Mabo said directly. According to what Sandizi said, let's get a room and play mahjong for a few days, Su Pinggan said directly. I told Sandizi that he is the closest to Shanghai. He should go there in advance and find a suitable hotel to get a room. We don't need to stay in the rooms arranged by the organizing committee. There are too many people there and it's inconvenient. Report the number of rooms you need to Sandizi in advance so that he can make arrangements, Mabo said directly. Let me arrange it. I have a branch in Hangzhou, which is closer to Shanghai. There is no need for Sandizi to go there in advance, Su Pinggan said directly. Okay, you've made a fortune, so you can arrange it. I'll tell you about the personnel in a few days. You can notify Sandizi and Winun later. Mabo was not polite at all. I'll call them later, Su Pinggan said directly. They are brothers, so it doesn't matter. When we were in school, the brothers knew that Su Pinggan had no money, so they paid for it themselves to minimize Su Pinggan's spending. Now that Su Pinggan has money, he can arrange it for the brothers, which is very refreshing. After hanging up the phone, he immediately called Lin Yide and Zhang Winun. Both of them said that they would call Su Pinggan in the next few days to report the number of people. When contacting the organizing committee did not need to arrange the room. Su Pinggan would make unified arrangements. Everyone would meet in Shanghai on time on the first day of next month. It was still early. There were still more than 10 days before the first day of next month. We could arrange work matters calmly without delaying the normal operation of the enterprise. At noon, Chen Qingshan and Lu Qingfang were having dinner together in a private restaurant in the suburbs. Chen Qingshan smiled and told Su Pinggan about his ridicule, which made him helpless. Old Chen, I was transferred up half a level this time, and it was also the light of Shianki Group. It was really Shianki's success and failure. Lu Qingfang finished speaking and picked up the wine glass and drank it in one gulp. Lu Qingfang was unwilling to give up. Su Pinggan's large-scale investment in J-City must be completed after the construction of the Comprehensive Research Institute was completed. In J, a pilot project of renewable resources was carried out. This was a big project and also a great political achievement. Now, Lu Qingfang had nothing to do. It would be strange if Lu Qingfang was in a good mood. Chen Qingshan understood what Lu Qingfang meant. Shianki Group was rising strongly. In the international arena, Shaanxi Group was definitely a powerful large company that no one could underestimate. In China, ordinary people did not understand the strength of Shaanxi Group, but the relevant departments knew it very well and admitted that the foreign media gave Xu Pinggan the title of the luckiest man of the century. Those who had read the real information of Shaanxi Group were all envious and jealous. He won more than 500 million by betting on horses in Hong Kong, and then went to Iceland to travel and acquired a bankrupt Poseidon, and invested money to save Poseidon. Chen Qingshan talked to Xu Pinggan about the purchase of Poseidon and reported it in detail to his superiors. Chapter 132. Let's go to Somalia. Xu Pinggan was about to be cut off from the ocean trading company at that time. This has been confirmed that Xu Pinggan did not lie. The only way out was to be the agent of another foreign dietary supplement product. Going abroad was essential. He bought Poseidon because he was attracted by Poseidon's products. He had his own products to sell, and he had never thought about anything else. Who knew that Dr. Lek directly played a king bomb, which shocked the world? The birth of superfish oil laid the foundation for Xu Pinggan's rise. This year, Xu Pinggan's acquisition of research and large-scale investment in foreign countries is not unknown to the country, and it is also very clear what Xu Pinggan is thinking. The profits brought by a high-tech new product are crazy. Xu Pinggan is casting a wide net. Once a research institute project achieves a breakthrough, it will create another Poseidon company. The success of Poseidon has determined the route Xu Pinggan will take in the future, which is to invest in scientific research on a large scale and take the path of patent monopoly. As a result, foreign research institutes did not make a breakthrough, but superpaint was born in China, and the inventor of superpaint was Miao Yuan, who is not valued by domestic research institutes. Relevant units have also conducted an investigation on Miao Yuan. The leaders who have read the information have the intention to destroy the Heilong Anti-Corrosion Research Institute. You actually let such a talent do odd jobs, clean up and clear garbage every day, and don't let Miao Yuan engage in research work. Fortunately, Xu Pinggan learned Miao Yuan's name from abroad and rescued Miao Yuan. Otherwise, high-end paints will still be monopolized by foreign countries. How can the leaders not hate it? Another thing is that the future route of Shaanxi Group makes the country both relieved and worried. What is reassuring is that finally a large private enterprise has begun to take the right path, investing heavily in product research and development, and looking at the market globally. What is worrying is that Xu Pinggan attaches too much importance to patent monopoly and likes to eat alone. Once he intervenes in a certain industry, it will definitely cause a reshuffle of the industry. At that time, the number of unemployed people will definitely not be a small number. It turned out that the paint used by the national warships was produced by a factory under a state-owned research institute in Qingdao. Now, the country has purchased Shaanxi's super paint, and the subordinate enterprises of this research institute have no orders. Not to mention bankruptcy immediately, it has become a company with no future. Bankruptcy in the future is inevitable, and workers will definitely lose their jobs. There are many people, and a company with thousands of employees is another burden. This is still domestic. Foreign paint factories are even more angry, especially those companies with military supply contracts, who hate the super paint of Apocalypse Group to the core. Therefore, the country currently attaches great importance to Apocalypse Group. Of course, this attention is carried out secretly. How to guide the healthy development of Apocalypse Group has become an important task for local governments. Xu Pinggan's layout in Hangzhou clearly shows that he wants to intervene in the mobile phone industry. And he is also ambitious to launch a mobile phone operating system with independent intellectual property rights. This is much better than many current mobile phone manufacturers. Without a domestic operating system, sooner or later you will be controlled by others. The country sees this very clearly. Once the US government prohibits you from using someone else's operating system, all your mobile phones will only become decorations, and your company will be finished in minutes. Because of this, it is necessary to vigorously support the correct guidance of the Apocalypse Group to develop in a healthy direction and develop an operating system with independent intellectual property rights. After the super paint incident, the top management also realized the urgency of the matter and talked to Zhang Jianbin in Hangzhou. At the same time, the adjustment of the leadership team of J-City was accelerated. Lu Qingfang must not meet the requirements of the superiors, and his level was raised by half a level to other prefecture-level cities as a leader. Chen Qingshan's position was not moved, because Chen Qingshan and Xu Pinggan had almost run in, and the two could say some more private words. Reassigning a senior official with vision and courage to work with Chen Qingshan to slowly guide Su Pingyan is the top priority. It is not easy for a country to have a large company with international influence. What so many state-owned enterprises have not done, the Apocalypse Group has done. With superfish oil in hand, other countries must think carefully before sanctioning the Apocalypse Group, because the influence of superfish oil is too great. In the words of foreign media, superfish oil is a must-have item for every family, an indispensable product. Once there is no superfish oil, people will definitely go crazy. This is something that all ruling parties must avoid. The patent monopoly has lasted for 20 years. In these 20 years, for the sake of superfish oil, you must also tolerate the Apocalypse Group. The crackdown at the administrative level will definitely not be carried out. Otherwise, how could Su Pingyan acquire the research institute in Europe so smoothly? The Western countries' technological blockade against the Celestial Empire is very strict. What they sell to you are some unimportant technologies. Don't expect to sell you the real high-tech and sophisticated technologies, including the acquisition of research institutes. Don't even think about it. But Su Pingyan did it. This is the credit of superfish oil. Other companies have been rejected for acquiring research institutes in Europe. Even research institutes that are about to go bankrupt will not approve the acquisition. Chen Qingshan picked up the bottle and filled the glasses of the two people. Old Lu, today I heard Su Pingyan talking to several of his friends on the phone about the Young Entrepreneurs Forum held in the Magic City. They generally dislike participating in this kind of forum. This is not a good thing, Chen Qingshan said seriously. Old Chen, don't think about it for now. Wait for the new senior official to come and discuss this matter with him seriously. The forum is an important product for the government to listen to the ideas of entrepreneurs and communicate, and it is closely related to the adjustment of government policies. Su Pingyan is not an ordinary person. Don't forget that he is a top student who graduated from XX University. He has his own ideas. How to influence him is very important. Old Chen, you are very courageous, Lu Qingfang said with emotion. Sooner or later, I will be pissed off by this kid, Chen Qingshan said with a smile, and Lu Qingfang also smiled. The two raised their glasses and clinked them, and drank them in one gulp. Time passed slowly. On this day, Buck and the other two came. Jin Wenwen was responsible for arranging the hotel. The next day, the three went to Su Pingyan's office for a talk. Gavin, your belly is much bigger, Su Pingyan looked at Gavin and said with a smile. Boss, my life is too easy now. I have nothing to do. I can only eat meat and drink to pass the time, Gavin said with a smile. It is indeed very free. York, how many people are there in your combat department now? Su Pingyan turned to York and asked. Boss, there are only 11 people left. The others have switched to other companies because our orders are too few and not in their interest, York said helplessly. Gavin, York, I'll give you a task. Go to Somalia and develop slowly, Su Pingyan said slowly as he looked at the two of them. Chapter 133 Poverty is more terrible than death. Gavin, York, and Buck were all stunned. They couldn't understand what Su Pingyan meant by sending people to Somalia. There were wars every day in that place, and it was very chaotic. Boss, if we go to Somalia, York alone won't have enough manpower, Gavin said very seriously. The manpower problem is easy to solve. There are many people in the security company in China. I will select 60 people from China and train them at Buck's place. The strongest 30 will be assigned to York, and the remaining 30 will return to China after completing their training. Buck, you must focus on training the 30 people who return to China to fight against commercial espionage. The defense of domestic laboratories must be strengthened, Su Pingyan said slowly. Boss, can you tell me the purpose of your increase in the number of personnel in the operations department? Gavin looked at Su Pingyan and asked, not understanding why Su Pingyan suddenly wanted to increase manpower. Do you know about the super paint? Su Pingyan looked at the three people and asked, and the three nodded, indicating that they knew. In the future, there will be many products similar to super paint. I must have the power to resist. You know very well how those people eat. If I don't have any power, the profit will not belong to me at that time, Su Pingyan said seriously. Boss, why do you want to send people from China? Can't we directly recruit veterans? York asked. It takes a lot of energy to train newcomers. It's very simple, loyalty. The loyalty of the Chinese is the highest. The loyalty of the people we train ourselves can be trusted. Those veterans, for money, have nothing they won't sell. I don't trust them, Another thing is that the cost of sending people from China is low. They only need half of the cost of veterans. They dare to fight and fight. Why don't I use them? Su Pinggan looked at York and said seriously. York smiled bitterly and kept silent. What Su Pinggan said was right and could not be refuted. Another thing is that York is not a person who is good at making excuses. When encountering any difficulties, he will speak directly with his gun. He can fight but not talk. Boss, the operations department is a real battle. Do they dare to participate? Gavin said with narrowed eyes. Gavin, what is scarier than death? Su Pinggan asked back, and Gavin was stunned. It should be a life worse than death, Gavin gave an answer. Wrong, it's poverty. Poverty is scarier than death. The salary of ordinary security personnel here is more than 2,000 RMB. If you want to make a lot of money, you must dare to fight. If you don't dare to fight, just be your security guard. Honestly, there are many people in China who dare to fight, but what is lacking is opportunities, Su Pinggan said seriously. I have no problem. Gavin already understood what Su Pinggan meant. At the same time, Gavin also clearly felt that Su Pinggan's plan was not so simple. What it is specifically, can only be seen slowly. Gavin, York, your task is very simple. Before the training of 30 people is completed, there must be a small base. Submit the plan to me directly if you need anything. I will arrange funding or purchase weapons. Su Pinggan looked at the two and said seriously. To what extent does it need to be done? Gavin asked with narrowed eyes. It doesn't need to grow very big, just keep the armed strength of about 200 people. The existence of the combat department is mainly to eliminate our enemies and all those who hinder the development of the Apocalypse group. Quality is more important than quantity, Su Pinggan said his plan. As long as the boss's funds can keep up, I have no objection, Gavin said with a smile. Su Pinggan looked at Gavin and smiled. The two of them saw the meaning of each other's eyes. At noon, the four of them had lunch together and drank 2 bottles of white wine. They didn't drink much. Su Pinggan had something to do in the afternoon, so the 3 of them rested in the hotel. They would notify the 3 of them when there was news. After they separated, Su Pinggan went directly back to the company. In the afternoon, Su Pinggan called Lin Hansheng, Chen Qilin, and Yu Zegan to announce the overseas training in mercenary matters. The 3 looked at each other and were very surprised. They didn't expect Su Pinggan to make such a decision. In the future, the team leaders will be selected from those who have returned from overseas training, Su Pinggan added. Boss Su, there is no problem in promoting training personnel to become team leaders. Joining mercenaries can kill people, Lin Hansheng said seriously as he looked at Su Pinggan. Lin Hansheng had dealt with foreign mercenaries before, and was very clear about the cruelty of the situation. They made money quickly and in large quantities, but they dealt with death all day long, and they might die at any time and never see the sun tomorrow. Explain this to them in advance. If you want to make a lot of money, you must dare to fight. Foreigners dare to fight, but they don't. If they don't dare to fight, they should just be security guards. No one forces them. Everything is voluntary. There are only 60 places in the first batch. In the future, the salary standards for the company's security personnel will be divided into 3 levels. The first level is ordinary security personnel, the second level is foreign training personnel, and the third level is mercenary personnel. The first level has the lowest salary. All current team leaders must participate in training. Those who are unwilling to fight should either be demoted and have their salaries reduced, or resign. We need people who dare to fight and fight. You all know what the skills of foreign commercial spies are. Do you think they can ensure the security of laboratory data? The company has invested a lot in the research institute, and the security of laboratory data must be guaranteed. Su Pinggan looked at the 3 people and said seriously. Lin Hansheng and the other 2 looked at each other. There are many people who are willing to risk their lives among the security guards, but they just don't have the opportunity. Now that they have the opportunity to make a lot of money, these people will definitely not give up. What if there are too many applicants? Lin Hansheng asked. It's very simple. We will compete in all aspects and select the best 60 people. I think you can do this, Su Pinggan said to the 3 people, and Lin Hansheng and the other 2 could only nod. Tomorrow I will let the general manager of the French Apocalypse Security Company, Buck, the director of operations, York, and the director of intelligence, Gavin, meet with you. You will discuss the treatment of personnel at all levels and other issues. After I review and approve them, I will let the internal personnel choose freely, Su Pinggan added. What else can Lin Hansheng and the other 2 say? Just follow Su Ping'an's arrangement. After communicating with Su Ping'an about some issues, they will leave directly and go back to discuss the plan. They will also discuss with foreign personnel when they arrive at the company early tomorrow morning. Su Ping'an called Buck and Gavin to communicate for a while, and asked the three to come to the company early tomorrow morning to discuss a perfect plan with the person in charge of the security company in China. The three agreed. The next morning, people from both parties arrived at the company, and Su Ping'an sent them to the conference room. Gavin could speak Chinese, so communication was not a problem. He asked them to come up with a feasible plan. Chapter 134, Commemorating Our Lost Youth. Several people discussed until noon, and finally came up with a plan, which was submitted to Su Ping'an for review. Su Ping'an took it and looked at it, then picked up a pen and began to modify it. The first thing he modified was the salary. Lin Hansheng and his team set the salary of the first-level staff at 3,000 yuan, and Su Ping'an directly changed it to 2,200 yuan, a decrease of 800 yuan, and maintained the current salary unchanged. The salary of the second-level personnel, the captain level, was changed from 3,500 yuan to the current 2,600 yuan, and remained unchanged. The salary of the third-level mercenary personnel was changed from 5,000 yuan to 6,000 yuan, a direct increase of 1,000 yuan. Next, the benefits, bonuses, and pensions were all adjusted. In short, the benefits and bonuses of the first-level personnel were reduced, while those of the second and third levels were increased. After the modification, it was directly handed to Lin Hansheng. Starting next month, we will follow the new standards, Su Ping'an said calmly. Lin Hansheng took it and looked at it, with a helpless look on his face, and nodded in agreement. They had lunch together at noon, and they all drank a lot. They rested directly in the afternoon. After they separated, Su Ping'an did not go back to the company, but went to a place called Chunlei Tea House, and ordered a pot of tea to drink slowly. Not long after, Gavin came over, and the two smiled at each other. They started chatting while drinking tea. They did not speak Chinese, but German. The two discussed for about an hour before they separated. No one knew what they discussed. 3 days passed, and Zhang Wenhan, Lin Yide, and Ma Bo reported the number of people and the rooms they needed. There were 4 security guards around the 3 of them. Su Ping'an began to wonder whether he should reduce the number of guards by 2. According to Lin Hansheng's arrangement for him, there were 8 guards around him. Wasn't it a bit too much? After thinking for a while, he decided not to reduce it. He was too hated when he started his business, and it would be impossible to not have enough people around him. 4 people and 20 guards would need 10 standard rooms. 4 people would not need 1 suite. Su Ping'an knew what was going on. He picked up the phone and called Jizu Ai. Jizu Ai was in Shanghai at the moment. The investment company headed by Jizu Ai has a fund of 1 billion RMB. Jizu Ai has made a profit of more than 300 million in the past few years. Su Ping'an directly supplemented 1 billion funds, allowing Jizu Ai to do it boldly. With cash in hand, Jizu Ai is now very prosperous. No matter where he goes, he is always in the spotlight. You can ignore the 1 billion funds in Jizu Ai's hands, but you must care about the giant behind Jizu Ai, the Apocalypse Group. The companies under the name of the Apocalypse Group have a very enviable feature, that is, payment first and goods later. If you don't pay the money first, don't expect to deliver the goods to you. The cash flow is notoriously terrible. Most of the money collected by the Apocalypse Group is in euros and dollars. Not to mention other things, Super Paint Company alone has received tens of billions of euros, and this is the most recent amount. There must be a lot that has not been reported. The same is true for Poseidon Company. Each company has received a huge amount of cash. A listed company in Magic City wants to raise funds and issue a short-term bond. Jizu Ai went to investigate. If there is no problem, he will eat it all directly. The amount is 300 million, used for 2 months, and the interest rate is 10%. The profit is very considerable. The call was quickly connected. Mr. Su Jizu Ai's voice came over. Zuai, do you know about the Young Entrepreneurs Forum held in Magic City? Su Ping'an asked. I know that Magic City has started to promote it on a large scale, Jizu Ai said directly. I want to participate, but I didn't ask the organizing committee to prepare a room. You find a high-end hotel close to the meeting place and book 4 large suites and 10 ordinary rooms. My friends and I will live there. We will move in on the 1st, Su Ping'an said directly. I will arrange it immediately, Jisoo Ai said directly. Su Pinggan was relieved and hung up the phone after chatting with Jisoo Ai for a few words. After the arrangement was made, Su Pinggan relaxed. He didn't need to worry about the company. Everything was on track. Su Pinggan was completely free. He stayed at home for a few days and felt a little bored. He called Mabo and others and set off early. The hotel had been booked. There was no objection to checking in a few days in advance. It was arranged immediately. Qiao Yicheng sent a car to Shanghai for his convenience. Su Pinggan went directly to the provincial capital to board the plane. When he walked out of the airport, there were already people waiting. The personnel sent by Qiao Yicheng led Su Pinggan to the parking lot. There was an enlarged and widened Rolls-Royce Phantom and 2 specially ordered Autos. Jiansh, take over the vehicles and arrange for them to return to Hangzhou, Su Pinggan told the captain of the escort, Chen Jiansh. The vehicle started to set off and headed straight to the Hyatt Hotel. The hotel Jisoo Ai booked was the Hyatt Hotel, an international chain hotel with luxurious interior decoration, especially the large suites, which were huge and absolutely met the needs of business people. More importantly, the Hyatt Hotel is very close to the forum venue, and it only takes 10 minutes to walk there. Because of the high fees, the organizing committee did not choose the Hyatt Hotel, but signed a contract with a Four Seasons hotel not far away. It was not long after Su Pinggan moved in that Lin Yad arrived. The two of them had to joke with each other when they met. In the afternoon, Mabo also arrived. Zhang Wenyan was a little far away and could not arrive until after 4 in the morning. After dinner, in Mabo's room, Mabo skillfully boiled water and made tea. The three of them drank tea and chatted. The school called me to solicit sponsorship and planned to build an experimental building, Mabo said with a smile, and Lin Yide and Su Pinggan also laughed. This is not soliciting sponsorship, it's completely asking us to solve this problem, Lin Yide said directly, not taking it seriously. Why don't we go and take a look tomorrow? After all, the school took great care of us at the beginning. If it's appropriate, I will solve it. The name of the building will be named 507 Building to commemorate our lost youth, Su Pinggan said slowly after taking a sip of tea. Bah, how old are you? You are an old man now, and you are still commemorating your lost youth. Are you shameless? I am forever young, Mabo said bluntly. Boss is right. We are still young. You are old. So get out of here, Lin Yide was equally impolite. Damn, I am just expressing my feelings. Do you think it is necessary? Su Pinggan said with a smile. However, your proposal can be considered. Lao Lin, Wenyan and I will all contribute a little. Mingyang and Rulong will not have to contribute, Mabo said directly. Okay, Lin Yide agreed directly. Su Mingyang and Li Rulong are politically minded. They don't have much money, so they don't need to contribute. Let me do it. You are all at a critical moment now. You must ensure that the funds are sufficient. My funds can withstand my efforts. When you become the industry leader, we will average it out, Su Pinggan said. Chapter 135, No Money, No Share Dilution. Mabo and Lin Yide thought about it for a while. Okay, let's do it. Anyway, you've made it. I never thought that Miao Yang, whom you poached, could develop such a heaven-defying product, Mabo said jealously. Boss, I didn't expect it either. Do you believe it? Su Pinggan said with his hands spread out, acting very innocent. Your luck is really enviable and makes people want to vomit blood. Lin Yide rubbed his head and said, it was impossible not to be jealous. After the super paint incident, Lin Yide was also shocked at home. Not only Lin Yide, but also Lin Yide's father, eldest brother and second brother were shocked. They got a €1 billion order so easily. They looked like they wanted to vomit blood. When the time comes, the world will work together. Yide, your luck is really against the sky, Lin Changgong said helplessly. Lin Yide said that the inventor of super paint was poached by Su Pinggan when he came to play at home. In just over 2 years, he developed such a heaven-defying product, which really makes people jealous. Mabo was also upset and stopped drinking tea. Together with Lin Yide, he pushed Su Pinggan down on the sofa and ravaged him to vent his frustration. What are you going to do with your marriage? Have you not forgotten Li Tingting? Mabo asked. I really forgot. When I saw Li Tingting having dinner with her boyfriend, I had already walked out on her. The reason why I am single now is that there is really no suitable one. In the words of Lao Lin, good and bad, they are all gentle to you. How do you choose? Su Pinggan really scratched his head. This question is really unsolvable. Don't talk about you. I am the same now. Lin Yide also looked helpless. Being with Zhang Lilei was just a fleeting relationship. He couldn't find a suitable person. I really envy Winnitan, Mabo also sighed. Zhang Winnitan got married. The couple was in love with each other. The other party was not together because of Zhang Winnitan's money. This kind of relationship is very rare. Although the three of them earned more than Zhang Winnitan, they were left behind by Zhang Winnitan in terms of marriage. The three of them were silent and the atmosphere suddenly became awkward. Let's change the subject. How is your plan to become a tea tycoon going? Lin Yide asked. It's okay. Now that the 10 major tea bases have been built, each base is sold at a price of 200 million yuan, and there are people who want it. The sales volume is very stable. After a year, I basically have no inventory. The tea I sell is fresh in season, word of mouth has come out. Sales are no problem. It is expected that the annual sales volume this year can reach 3 billion. The operation of various departments of the company has begun to stabilize, Mabo said seriously. Establish a research institute to further develop tea derivatives and increase your profit margin, Su Pinggan said seriously. Let's talk about it next year. By the way, I will transfer money to you tomorrow. Now the funds are sufficient, Mabo said directly. Damn, you are so amazing. Lin Yide was a little surprised and felt that his development was a bit slow. The core of the tea tycoon plan is high quality and low price. However, I plan to change it next year and select some super products for foreign countries. The profit margin of export is really fucking high, more than 10 times the profit, Mabo said directly. Will your actions affect the quality of your domestic products? Su Pinggan frowned. No, my production base will expand by 30% next year. Domestic sales are my foundation. There can't be any problems. The super high-quality products for export will be produced from the newly added production bases, Mabo said seriously. The boss has also risen, but it's a pity that I'm still struggling in pain, Lin Yide sighed, and Su Pinggan and Mabo both smiled. Old Lin, how are you doing over there? Mabo asked. The price of electrical appliances seems not low, but the profit margin is really not high. I'm only making hard-earned money now. If I want to expand rapidly, several domestic home appliance giants will never agree. The market competition is very fierce and difficult, Lin Yide said directly. Do you want to expand? If you really want to expand and need funds, tell me, I support you, Su Pinggan said directly. Damn, you can see all this, you kid has learned it well, Lin Yide said with a smile. Lin Yide has absolutely no intention of expanding now. His foundation is not solid enough. Blind expansion can only lead to his own death. It can be said that Lin Yide's competitors are eager for Lin Yide to expand. At that time, various costs will rise, and it will be difficult for Lin Yide to play a price war. Old Lin, can you learn from foreign electrical appliance factories? The profit margins of foreign brands are not low at all, Mabo said directly. I can't learn it. The technology content is different, and the materials used are not good. Otherwise, why would consumers accept the high prices of foreign countries? However, I have been experimenting and plan to create a boutique to test the waters. If possible, I will increase the variety of boutiques, Lin Yide said directly. Let me know when your boutique is out, and I will purchase a batch. Su Pinggan directly provided support to Lin Yide. You sell it first. If the sales volume is not good, I will purchase directly from Pinggan, so that you will not suffer any losses, Mabo said directly, and Lin Yide nodded. Tick tick, the small speaker started broadcasting. Tick tick, Mabo's mobile phone rang. This ringtone was very unique. Lin Yide and Su Pinggan both smiled. Mabo picked up the phone, looked at it and answered directly, Dad, what's the matter, Mabo? I have reached an agreement with them, 140 million, to buy their shares. Do you want it? Ma Ziqiang's voice came over. Yes, of course I don't want it. I'll arrange for someone to transfer the money to you tomorrow. They are sensible, otherwise, I will directly dilute their shares, Mabo said without any politeness. How can you talk like that? They are all your elders. Without the investment of these elders, could the company have developed? Ma Ziqiang scolded Mabo. Yes, it's my ideological awareness that's not good enough, Mabo said directly, and hung up after chatting with his father for a while. Pinggan, your money will wait until next year, and I'm going to take back the shares of Dad's company, Mabo said directly. It's okay, you can do it anytime, Su Pinggan said directly. You are swallowing up the family industry, Lin Yide said in surprise. Yes, our family is different from yours. The shareholders of your family only enjoy dividends but do not participate in management. Our family is too chaotic. Everyone has his own ideas and it is difficult to unify them. Otherwise, we would have developed long ago. I have talked to them several times. And they either refused or asked for too much. I told them directly that I planned to let my dad transfer the shares to me and raise 3 billion yuan. If they don't pay, the shares will be diluted. They had no choice but to negotiate with my dad, Mabo said with an unhappy face. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 136, Comparison photos begin to flood the screen. The three drank tea and chatted until almost 12 o'clock. Lin Yide and Su Pinggan went back to the room to rest. They agreed to meet up with Zhang Wenhun tomorrow to visit their alma mater. If it was appropriate, they would donate in the name of Dormitory 507. The next day, the three set off at more than 8 o'clock. After washing up, they woke up Zhang Wenhun to have breakfast together, then changed clothes and went out in the car. The four people met up with a big show. Lin Yide drove himself, a convertible Ferrari, which was very coquettish, but also in line with Lin Yide's status. Zhang Wenhun sat in Su Pinggan's car, Mabo sat in Lin Yide's car, and with 4 escort vehicles, they set off directly. Mabo was responsible for contacting the school, and Su Pinggan was responsible for contacting Li Rulong and Su Mingyang. Li Rulong and Su Mingyang had no objection, but he was very dissatisfied with Su Pinggan's words about commemorating the lost youth. He said that he was in his prime, young and promising, and youth was always there, so he didn't need to commemorate it. He asked Su Pinggan to change his excuse. The two were worried that Su Pinggan would go his own way, so they called Mabo, Lin Yide and Zhang Wenhun directly, telling them that Su Pinggan must not use that lame excuse. The three laughed and promised that they would never let Su Pinggan do anything wrong, and the two were relieved. After receiving Mabo's notice, the school took it very seriously and started to prepare immediately. Cleaning the conference room was an indispensable part, especially the teachers who had taught Su Pinggan and others, who immediately changed their clothes and prepared to inform the media that whether the school's laboratory building could be solved depended on today. Su Pinggan and his friends' identities were different. The four of them were all billionaires, and Su Pinggan was even a super rich man. Solving the school's laboratory building was a small matter. A building was only more than 20 million, plus the 40 million or so of experimental failures, it could be completely solved. When the vehicle drove into XX University, the school leaders attended collectively. After Su Pinggan and his friends got off the car, they all looked very emotional. Although they had only been away from school for a few years, they had already undergone earth-shaking changes. The four people were very humble and showed full respect to the teachers and school leaders, which made the school very satisfied. They went to the conference room for a discussion. The atmosphere was very good. From time to time, they talked about the mischief of a few people, which made everyone laugh. Su Pinggan and his team wanted to name the building after the 507 dormitory, which was also passed unanimously. After serious consultation with the school, a decision was made. Su Pinggan donated a world-class computer laboratory building in the name of the 507 dormitory, 30 million for the construction of the building, 40 million for the purchase of equipment, a total of 70 million. Su Pinggan transferred the money directly in front of everyone, and 70 million funds went directly into the school account. The school finance department stated in front of everyone that the money had been credited. Things went so smoothly that everyone was full of emotion. They immediately rushed to make banners and asked the media who had already arrived to take pictures. This historical moment must be recorded. At this moment, everything was done efficiently, and it didn't take long for everything to be ready. Su Pinggan, Mabo, Lin Yide, and Zhang Wenhun represented the 507 dormitory. The school leaders also came out. Everyone stood under the banner for the reporters to take pictures. Almost all the local media came. This was a positive energy and good thing, and it must be written about in detail. Especially now that Shanghai is going to hold the Young Entrepreneur Forum, it is completely complementary to Su Pinggan's donation. The media can come so quickly, and there is also cooperation from Shanghai. The leaders of the relevant departments made a phone call and the reporters arrived quickly. From the beginning, they were prepared for both situations. They had already notified Su Pinggan and his team before they arrived. If Su Pinggan and his team donated on the same day, they would report it directly. If not, they would postpone the report and report it when Su Pinggan and his team donated. Everyone believed that Su Pinggan and his team donated money. At most, it was a question of how much money they made. As a result, Su Pinggan's donation made everyone very satisfied, and it was reasonable for the reporters to show up. After taking the photos, the school arranged a place for dinner. Su Pinggan and the others were relaxed and toasted the teachers and school leaders frequently. Everyone was happy. They were happy today and drank a lot. Su Pinggan and the others were helped into the car and left. The next day, the media began to report on it extensively. With the cooperation of relevant departments, the momentum was particularly huge. Dormitory 507 was once again on the hot search list, and it took only half a day to top the hot search list. Photos of Su Pinggan, Zhang Wenyin, Mabo, and Lin Yide, as well as photos of all 507 playing basketball during school, became popular again. Su Mingyang and Li Rulong did not come because they both had work to do. Photos of Su Mingyang and Li Rulong standing at the door of their respective units, as well as photos of Su Pinggan and the other four, and the comparison photos of the 6 people playing basketball in school at that time, began to be popular. XX University, cultivate talents useful to society, this slogan began to be promoted again. Many people were moved when they saw the photos. XX University has a dormitory 507, which is considered to be completely popular. Why doesn't their school have such a person? More entrepreneurs found that Su Pinggan and his friends also came to participate in this forum for young entrepreneurs. When comparing with each other, many people sigh deeply. The 4 of them were in their 20s, while they were in their 40s. Except for their age, they could not compare with these 4 chosen ones. The overwhelming media coverage made all kinds of celebrities feel uncomfortable. Damn, you are the first on the hot search without spending money, but is it easy for us to spend money to be on the hot search? They were ruthlessly suppressed, and they were full of resentment. Outside, the wind and clouds were surging. In Mabo's room, there was an automatic shuffling mahjong machine. Mabo and his 4 friends were playing cards. They were shirtless, with only a pair of shorts on their lower body. They were not serious at all and did whatever they felt comfortable with. The organizing committee of the Forum for Young Entrepreneurs was in a meeting, and they were all having a headache because many more media signed up to participate, most of which were foreign media, and they also expressed the hope that Su Pinggan could speak. Originally, not many foreign media signed up to participate. Now, after the news of Su Pinggan's participation was high profile, all of them signed up to participate. It can be seen that Su Pinggan's influence is at the international level, which has raised the level of the forum by several levels. But they have already communicated with Su Pinggan not to speak. What should they do now? If Su Pinggan does not speak, the authority of the forum will definitely be questioned, which is something the organizing committee is unwilling to accept. How can this Su Pinggan's influence be so great? Neither of the 2 mob bosses has this kind of influence, said a big boss, rubbing his head. Everyone nodded. It was true. They didn't think Su Pinggan had much influence before. Now it seems that they have seriously underestimated Su Pinggan's influence, because Su Pinggan's influence is global in nature, which is different from these domestic entrepreneurs. Chapter 137 Test. Now there is another question. If Su Pinggan is allowed to speak, what should he say? Su Pinggan's luck cannot be expressed in words, said Li Wentao, deputy director of the organizing committee. This is a headache. Not everyone's purchased research institute can achieve breakthrough results. There are so many research institutes at home and abroad, and they are acquired every day. Why haven't we seen those research institutes achieve breakthroughs? This kind of thing is a low probability thing, and we can't sit back and wait. Then let him talk about the reasons for acquiring foreign research institutes. This year, he spent more than 10 billion on acquiring research institutes. I don't believe he did it blindly, said Hong Jiantong, director of the organizing committee. Not only that, can you let him talk about investing heavily in scientific research instead of speculating in stocks and real estate, or directly talk about his profits, and knock those entrepreneurs who only know how to speculate in land and finance and are not doing their jobs, said the big boss Payson guy. Everyone, I think this matter cannot be taken lightly. Su Pinggan is unwilling to speak. If the speech is not effective, it will have a counterproductive effect. We must be cautious about this. This time, J-City Mayor Chen Qingshan personally talked to Su Pinggan about Su Pinggan. Su Pinggan was unwilling to participate. The only condition was not to speak. We agreed to it and he participated. He can be said to have no preparation for speaking. Another thing, Chen Qingshan told me that Su Pinggan showed that he didn't care about many things. He had a serious angry youth thought in his bones. If he really let him speak, it might cause a big storm, Hong Jian's Hong said seriously. Everyone frowned. This is not a trivial matter. What if Su Pinggan's angry youth thought broke out when he spoke and said something inappropriate? It would be really not a trivial matter. With Su Pinggan's influence, many people would begin to interpret the meaning of his words. At that time, thinking of this, many people shuddered. Su Pinggan couldn't be allowed to speak. Once something happened, everyone would have a hard time. This idea began to arise. The big guys looked at each other and had a headache. Su Pinggan and his 4 friends played cards until it was time for dinner. They cleaned up and went to eat together. After dinner, they went to karaoke. Just as they arrived at the restaurant, the bodyguard came over and said that the organizing committee was looking for them. Su Pinggan and his friends were all stunned. Please ask them to come over, Su Pinggan said directly. Soon, the bodyguard came over with 2 people. Su Pinggan and his 4 friends stood up. What are your names? Lin Yide asked. Mr. Lin, this is Li Wentao, the deputy director of this Youth Entrepreneurs Forum. I am Director Li's secretary, Zhao Qianjun. Zhao Qianjun spoke first and introduced Li Wentao's identity. Welcome to the Youth Forum. Li Wentao was very enthusiastic and shook hands with Lin Yide and everyone else. Lin Yide also very enthusiastically invited Li Wentao to sit down. Su Pinggan directly picked up the red wine and poured a glass for Li Wentao, asking Li Wentao to taste it. The 4 people were very polite. Director Li, I wonder if there is anything I can do for you, Ma Bo spoke on the side. He was very professional, which made Li Wentao very comfortable and even had a better impression of the 4 of them. Originally, Li Wentao had a very bad impression of Su Pinggan and his 4 companions because they were disorganized and undisciplined. Other entrepreneurs stayed in the rooms arranged by the organizing committee, but Su Pinggan and his 4 companions booked more than a dozen rooms outside. It is not your business to be independent. What can you do if they don't stay in your room? Besides, the 4 of them are businessmen, not members of the organizing committee. No one has any reason to complain if they pay for their own accommodation. Ladies and gentlemen, the organizing committee has communicated with you in advance. You don't want to speak, but the organizing committee agreed. Now, many foreign media have signed up to attend the Young Entrepreneurs Forum and want to hear your views on the economy. You are young, but you have already made a great career. I hope you can share your entrepreneurial experience with everyone, Li Wentao said and looked at the 4 people. After hearing this, Su Pinggan and his companions all frowned. What should they do? They came to you in person. You can't refuse them in person. It's not good to not give them a little face. Director Li, our success in starting a business is different from others because our family is in business and has provided us with great help. If we speak up and the relevant background is dug out by netizens, it will cause an uproar, Lin Yide said meaningfully while looking at Li Wentao. Lin Yide's meaning was very clear. You should think carefully. Our identities are clear. Netizens will not say anything if we don't show up. Once we show up in a high-profile manner, if something goes wrong, don't blame us. Li Wentao knew what Lin Yide meant. He smiled and said, Mr. Lin, Mr. Ma, and Mr. Zhang, in this case, you 3 can choose not to speak. Mr. Su doesn't have such concerns, so Mr. Su can speak on your behalf. After listening to Li Wentao's words, the 4 people suddenly realized that the target was Su Pinggan. Ma Bo and the other 2 looked at Su Pinggan with interest. Su Pinggan was very confused at the moment. Damn. I knew that participating in such a forum would not be a good thing, but it still happened to me. Director Li, if I don't speak well, I might attract more hatred than them. The reporters have almost dug up everything I have gone through. Many things I never dreamed of, and they are not replicable. If I go on stage and give a pretentious speech, I guess many people will go crazy, Su Pinggan said seriously, looking at Li Wentao. Li Wentao also felt uncomfortable. What Su Pinggan said was true. Super fish oil and super paint products were accidents. It was not that Su Pinggan went through so much hardship to come up with them. Su Pinggan himself was already hated enough. After giving a speech, there was another chaos on the internet. Mr. Su, can you talk about your views on scientific research? According to me, Mr. Su is very willing to invest in scientific research. Mr. Su can share his experience in this area with everyone. Those foreign media also paid great attention to Mr. Su's speech, Li Wentao said with a stiff face. Su Pinggan must be allowed to speak. This is the decision of the organizing committee. There are too many foreign media. It is not easy to have a benchmark like Su Pinggan. If Su Pinggan is not allowed to speak, the consequences will be more serious. If the media misinterprets it, who knows what will happen, and it will be even more difficult to deal with. The media will find something to worry about, and let them freely associate it with the explosion of the Earth. The purpose of Li Wentao's coming here today was to tentatively communicate with Su Pinggan to see what his attitude was. The result was as expected by the organizing committee. Chapter 138, It is only natural to take the blame for your brother. Today was just a test. Su Pinggan could only say that he would consider it for a day. He would reply to Li Wentao a day later. He suddenly received this news and could not make a decision now. Li Wentao also understood that Su Pinggan just had to say this. After seeing Li Wentao off, the four brothers sat down with strange faces. They were not in the mood to go to karaoke to relax at night. They had a quick dinner and went directly back to Mabo's room. They made a pot of tea and started to discuss things. My background has been torn up by the media. People all over the world know what happened. Why would they let me speak? It's really strange. Su Pinggan looked confused and puzzled. It's very simple. You are too hateful. Don't you think about it? In about a month, your super paint received more than 10 billion in payment for goods, and it was fucking euros. If there's news about you, many people will click to browse and buy newspapers. Tell me, why don't a media report you? If I were the media, I would also report you. Zhang Wenyu looked at Su Pinggan and said with an unhappy face. You're right. When I first heard the news, I wanted to take a plane to beat you up to vent my anger, Lin Yide said directly from the side. I feel the same way. I have similar ideas. How about the three of us beat him up today? I'm so angry that I can't let it out, Mabo said, looking at Su Pinggan with a bad look in his eyes. Damn it, you actually treated me like this. I'm so sad, Su Pinggan said as he looked at the three of them. Tisk, the three of them gave Su Pinggan a contemptuous gesture. Let's talk business. How do we solve this matter? My mind is in a mess now, Su Pinggan asked with a serious face. There is no solution. I think you'd better speak up. If you don't speak up, the organizing committee will be very embarrassed. It might cause some waves at that time, Mabo said directly. The boss is right. If you don't speak up, those media will definitely not give up, and the organizing committee will also be very uncomfortable. So, you'd better speak up, Lin Yide also said from the side. I feel that you can't speak in the same way as usual. You must have your own characteristics, otherwise, it will have a bad impact on your Shianki brand, Zhang Wenyu said seriously. Su Pinggan was stunned. Damn, how did it involve my Shianki brand? Pinggan, everyone knows how you started. It is not replicable. In the eyes of Westerners, luck is also a part of strength. Shianki Group has developed with super fish oil and super paint, which makes people very envious. The question is, now that you have money all of a sudden, what will you do? Your company is so big, what do you think of the economies of various countries? In addition, you have a large amount of funds, and you plan to enter any industry as if it is facing a great enemy. You have money. Do you plan to eat, drink, play and enjoy, or do you plan to continue to develop and give back to society? If it is the former, I can guarantee that no one will have a good impression of your Shianki Group. This is also the fundamental reason why those large international companies do charity in various countries. Corporate brands, the most important thing to avoid is being said to be disgusted by the public, Zhang Wenyu explained seriously. Su Pinggan, Lin Yide, and Mabo all thought about it seriously. They didn't care much about this matter before. But now that Zhang Wenyu explained it, they found that it was not so simple. There are many things involved. The operation of a large enterprise is not so simple. Pinggan, do some charity, both in China and abroad. You are different from us. Our company is not as famous as your Shianki Group. Wenyu is right. Your every move involves many problems and cannot be treated carelessly. Mabo looked at Su Pinggan and said seriously. Su Pinggan was really a little overwhelmed at this moment. Damn, Zhengling was right. Black technology must be launched reasonably and legally, otherwise, It will be targeted by many people and will be sliced and studied. Now only 2 of them have been targeted by the eyes of the global media. It is really so. This is a big horror. I must be low-key, but I can't keep a low profile even if my product comes out. What should I do? I can only pretend to be innocent and pretend not to know, so that people will think I am really lucky. Su Ping'an thought about it and only thought of such a solution that is not a solution. I don't know if it will work. Ping'an, there are too many people watching you. Maybe you can be more high profile and learn from the old man, so that you can be like a normal person. Another thing is that you have too many gossips, and some people or institutions and organizations will pay less attention to you, Lin Yide said to Su Ping'an meaningfully. Old Lin, tell me in detail, Su Ping'an asked seriously, and Mabo and Zhang Wenjun also became interested. It's very simple. If you change to the ordinary people's thinking, what should you do when you have money? Eat food you have never eaten before, drink US dollars you have never drunk before, and enjoy life. This is a normal person. What about you? You develop the company and donate money to charity to give back to society. You are a saint. Saints are legends. If you appear in reality, you are a standard hypocrite. Indulge yourself and let people see a flesh and blood person, not a saint who has no desires and no demands to save all living beings. Another thing, if you become a playboy, will those forums still actively ask you to speak? Lin Yide looked at Su Ping'an and said these words calmly. What you said makes sense. I really need to change. If I speak, I will speak in plain words. I feel very depressed now. I need to change my life in the future, Su Ping'an said seriously. Ping'an, these things can only be done and not said, especially in the Celestial Empire. Do you understand? Mabo looked at Su Ping'an and said. In this regard, Mabo is very experienced. I think the boss can make some sacrifices and take Ping'an to have some fun, Zhang Wenjun said with a smile while looking at Mabo. Damn, isn't this letting me take the blame? Mabo immediately understood what Zhang Wenjun meant, and everyone laughed. Zhang Wenjun's meaning was very simple. Su Ping'an must have a guide to learn bad things, and Mabo is undoubtedly the best candidate. After all, Mabo has had scandals with many celebrities, and Master Ma is very famous for his romanticism. Su Ping'an turned his head to look at Mabo, and Mabo looked at Su Ping'an. Damn, don't look at me like that, I can't take the blame, Mabo said seriously, without any joking expression. In my opinion, only the boss can take the blame, and the others are a little bit worse and not qualified. Lin Yide looked at Mabo and said directly. The others are not familiar with Ping'an, and even if they deliberately get to know each other, it will take time, and it's a bit too late. It's best for the boss to arrange it. As the boss of the 507 dormitory, it's natural to take the blame for the brothers. Zhang Wenjun looked at Mabo with a serious face. Chapter 139 The World's Richest Son-in-Law. Nonsense, it's always the younger brother who takes the blame for the boss. How can the boss take the blame for the younger brother? Your logic is perverse, Mabo directly refuted. Zhang Wenjun was stunned for a moment, gave Mabo a thumbs up, looked at Lin Yide and Su Ping'an, and then the 3 of them shot 3 pairs of cold eyes at Mabo, and Mabo was shocked. Damn, let's not talk about this. Mabo stood up immediately. Beat him, Su Ping'an shouted. Lin Yide and Zhang Wenjun stood up immediately, and the 3 of them laughed and walked towards Mabo. Damn, you guys are serious? Mabo was dumbfounded at the time. It was too late. Su Ping'an and the other 2 had already rushed over and put Mabo directly on the carpet. Squeak my shirt. Damn, I agree. Isn't it enough if I agree? Mabo compromised directly, and Su Ping'an and the other 2 let him go. Why didn't you agree earlier? You are a jerk, Lin Yide said directly, and Su Ping'an and Zhang Wenjun both laughed. You should make good arrangements for Ping'an. If you have some scandals, you can not only have a beautiful woman in your arms, but also earn some money for tea. You are so embarrassed to enjoy this good thing alone, Lin Yide said directly. Damn, you are going to enjoy it too, Mabo said unhappily. Do you think I don't want to go? My father is strict. If I dare to play like this, he will send people to undermine me the next day to save me from ruining the family, Lin Yide said very unhappily. Lin Changgong's education of his 3 children is very strict. You can play freely before you have a career. Once you start your career and still want to continue to play, I'm sorry, everything will be taken away from you. Let's see how you play. Lin Yide's second brother was dealt with like this once, so Lin Yide is now powerless and dare not go beyond the line. He has been warned by his father about the matter with Zhang Lili. Otherwise, how could Lin Yide, who is so romantic and suave, be so honest? Damn, There's something else going on here. Tell me more and let me see the world. Su Pingyan was really interested at this moment. From the conversation between Lin Yide and Mabo, it can be heard that it is not a simple matter to have a scandal. Zhang Wenjun began to boil water to make tea, listening to Mabo's explanation of how to play. It was really shocking that there was such a way of playing in the entertainment industry. Both Su Pingyan and Zhang Wenjun were stunned and completely became country bumpkins. The scandal was not just a casual one, but a big drama, which increased the obvious exposure rate through the scandal. Of course, the person who had a scandal with a star must also have a certain strength. Mabo, an outstanding young entrepreneur, unmarried, and the boss of a large company with assets of hundreds of millions, is a relatively high-level scandal target. In order to have a good performance in the movies or TV series invested by the entertainment company, or to increase the exposure of some stars, they will contact Mabo XX star and Mabo are living together and flying together, and they are in a passionate love. At the beginning, the message was sent vaguely, gradually increasing the heat, and finally it exploded, completely attracting the attention of people who did not know the truth. This is a high-tech plan. Not only will it not disgust the spectators, but it will also increase the star's fan base and exposure rate. And it will also give Mabo some pocket money. Both parties get what they need. If I had known this, I wouldn't have gotten married so early. What a pity, Zhang Wenjun said with a regretful expression. I now realize that I am really a country bumpkin. I have decided that I must live a more exciting life than the boss, otherwise I will be at a loss. The life of the boss's life, Su Pingyan said with emotion. You should have woken up a long time ago. The excitement of the boss's life is beyond your imagination. If I hadn't been strictly controlled by my father, I would have gone to hang out with the boss a long time ago. That's called a wonderful life, Lin Yide also said. This kind of reputation is not good. It's not as glorious as you think. The reputation of a playboy will keep good girls away from you. You won't understand the pain in my heart, Mabo sighed, showing a very deep expression. Tisk, Lin Yide and the other two gave Mabo a look of contempt. Little guy, I don't know you yet. Do you need to play deep? We are not crazy girls. Since the matter has been decided, it will be handed over to Mabo to arrange. Mabo is the kind of person who takes action after making a decision. He immediately started to make calls, directly contacting the largest film and television companies in the country, and then contacting some giants of brokerage companies. It has been explained in advance and other companies have been notified. If the person you choose is not optimistic, you can only wait for a chance in the future. What to do, then you should think carefully. In a word, ordinary top-notch people are not worthy of my brothers. I mentioned Su Pingyan's name, and everything was okay. They will immediately select the best of the best. The general top-notch people are not worthy of Su Pingyan's status. And it must be the kind of person who has no scandals and is clean and self-respecting. Those with scandals are not allowed. This is what Mabo emphasized again and again. The other party agreed and directly stated that those with scandals are not worthy of Su Pingyan. Mabo was relieved. It was still early, and there was no time to arrange it. Accompanying Su Pingyan to attend the Young Entrepreneurs Forum was definitely an excellent exposure platform. This was a rare opportunity. He was the chairman of the Apocalypse Group. He was the richest son-in-law in the world. If you missed it, you would regret it for the rest of your life. The next day, many entertainment companies began to make a fuss and strictly screened. This kind of thing must be done with the consent of both parties. The parties involved must be willing and cannot be forced. However, the target was Su Pingyan, the chairman of the Apocalypse Group. It was estimated that no one would be unwilling. What if it succeeded? Then the sparrow would fly to the branch and turn into a phoenix. Even many bigwigs in the entertainment industry were considering whether to send their daughters to do it. Su Pingyan contacted Li Wentao and invited Li Wentao to have lunch together at noon. Li Wentao definitely had no objection. The two of them decided during lunch that Su Pingyan would speak, and the speech would be put on the last day as the finale. The content of the speech revolved around scientific research and did not involve other aspects. Even if there was a little bit, it was within the scope of the world economy. There was no problem with this topic. And Li Wentao was relieved. Everything would be fine if Su Pingyan agreed to speak. This was the task given to Li Wentao by his superiors. Now, this task has been successfully completed. Moreover, the topic of the speech was not within the scope of sensitive issues, so many people breathed a sigh of relief. Chapter 140 It's really a bargain for you. 2 days later, Mabo received a call from the entertainment company and went to negotiate directly. Mabo was responsible for the first stage of review. After Mabo's review, the relevant information would be submitted to Su Pinggan for Su Pinggan to choose. In a suite on the top floor of the Halen Hotel, Song Semin, the boss of Brothers Pictures, and Mabo sat on the sofa. The two were old acquaintances. Song Semin and Mabo were real fellow villagers. They came from the same village and were real cousins. Mabo charged 1 million yuan for gossip fees from other companies, but it was 500,000 yuan from Song Semin, which was half the price. The reason was that Song Semin had shares in the family business, the tea company. Although it was not much, it also gave great support to Mabo's father. The two families had a very good relationship and basically had contacts and gatherings every year. Mabo originally planned not to ask for money, but to help. Song Semin directly gave half the price, and Mabo had to accept it. In addition, this time Mabo wanted to acquire all the shares and turn the company into a private company, and Song Semin also supported it. Song Semin didn't care about the profit of the tea company at all, so he might as well do a favor to Mabo. Besides, Mabo was very considerate, and Song Semin couldn't be unkind. Brothers Pictures is currently one of the most famous film companies in China, and it must be one of the top 5. It has a very sound network and strong strength. It invests in 6 or 7 movies and 4 or 5 TV series every year. Mabo, tell me the truth, is this just a joke, or is it possible to develop it seriously? Song Semin said as he handed Mabo a cigarette. The two lit it and slowly puffed out smoke. Uncle Song, why do you ask that? Mabo was a little curious. Song Semin smiled embarrassedly and said seriously, Mabo, how is your cousin Youngsin? Is there any hope? Mabo was stunned for a moment, and Song Youngsin's appearance appeared in his mind. He frowned and thought. Song Semin did not disturb Mabo's thinking. After a while, Mabo shook his head. Uncle Song, the time is not right. Cousin Youngsin is very good in all aspects, but it's not right this time. I have already told Su Pinggan that it is a scandal, and there will be a scandal fee. Mabo shook his head and said. It's not possible this time, but what about the next time? Do you think they have a chance? Song Semin asked further, and was very concerned about this matter. Uncle Song, I can't guarantee this, but if you are interested, I can arrange for cousin Youngsin to meet Su Pinggan. As for whether they can succeed, it depends on them, Mabo said seriously. Song Youngsin is definitely a beauty, and she is also a top student. She is currently working in Jinling City and has founded an animation company. Although she doesn't make as much money as Mabo and others, she has not lost money either, which is already very difficult. To be honest, Mabo was secretly moved at that time, but neither Mabo nor Song Youngsin had the intention to develop in this direction. The most important thing is that the two are too familiar with each other. They have been in good temper since childhood and have never broken off contact. In addition to friendship, they are also siblings. Okay, I feel relieved with your words, thank you, Song Semin said seriously. It is not easy for Mabo to say this. This is Su Pinggan. Not an ordinary person. Uncle Song, you can tell your cousin in advance, be gentle, Su Pinggan is a soft-hearted guy, not a hard-hearted one, Mabo said meaningfully, and Song Semin nodded seriously. At the beginning, Li Tingting was as gentle as water to Su Pinggan, and firmly tied Su Pinggan's heart. It can be said that in the last few years of college, Su Pinggan rarely talked to other girls. He was a standard good man, and Mabo knew this very well. After the business was over, the two began to talk about the gossip heroines. Mabo was given 4 materials and asked to choose carefully. These 4 were carefully selected by the company, and the contracts also belonged to Brothers Film. And they were all trained by the company itself. Although they have also started to debut, they are currently the kind of existence with little influence. It's not that the 4 people are not capable, but that there have been no good opportunities. They can only come slowly and gradually increase the exposure of the 4 people. They are beautiful, have excellent figures, and have been carefully trained in acting. There is no scandal. They are the pillars of the company's future. Various etiquette training, music training, dance training, etc. The company has invested a lot in the 4 people. This time, Brothers Pictures plans to launch a big production, and the leading actress has not been determined yet. Now it depends on Mabo if there is news. Whoever Su Pinggan chooses will be the leading actress, so as to increase the exposure rate and increase the success rate of the big production. The gossip fee given is 5 million, which is also a big deal. All 4 documents were taken away by Mabo. He can't stay here for a long time. There are other companies. Mabo has been busy all day today. It was not until after 8 o'clock in the evening that Mabo returned to the hotel. The brothers had dinner together. When they returned to Mabo's room, Mabo put more than 20 documents on the table. It's really a bargain for you. They are all top-notch. I am tempted by them, Mabo said unhappily. The opportunity is rare. All the major companies launch the best of the best. They have good figures, good looks, and good knowledge. They all have a basic dance foundation and are soft and easy to be pushed down. Moreover, the gossip fee given this time is not small, several times higher than Mabo's. It would be strange if Mabo was in a good mood. The brothers watched it together. You really don't know until you watch it. You will be shocked. Lin Yide was willing to participate at the cost of being scolded by his father. Only Zhang Wenjun stopped watching after watching 2 copies and went to the side, worried that he could not control himself. Zhang Wenjun is married and loves his wife very much. He doesn't want to do anything to make his wife sad. If he continues to watch, Zhang Wenjun is worried that he can't resist the temptation. It's better to stay away from it. Su Pinggan looked at them and they were all so beautiful. He had an indescribable feeling in his heart. Lin Yide looked at Su Pinggan and knew what Su Pinggan was thinking. Pinggan, no one forced us in this matter, it was all voluntary. If you can't bear it, just don't touch them. It's also a help to them. The competition in the entertainment industry is very fierce now, and it's really difficult to stand out. These people are different from those traffic stars. Traffic stars are hyping up every dance, forgetting that this is the basic skill they should have. After their fingers get dirty after filming a video, they directly hype up how hard they work. I get annoyed looking at these people. If there are such people in these materials, I will burn them directly and not let you see them. They are different. They have worked hard for their star careers. They practice dancing, singing, etiquette, acting, etc. day after day. They are very dedicated. Give them a hand and give them the glory they deserve, Lin Yide said seriously. Chapter 141. Should I agree or not? Pinggan, Yide is right. At the beginning, I also felt a little bit uncomfortable and weird. Later, I talked to them in detail. Many of them worked very hard. They improved their acting skills seriously and brought us good works, but they did not get the due rewards. Those traffic stars, crazy hype, and leading to some bad things. Too many companies started to make quick money, using traffic stars, brushing grades, and earning advertising fees. Those who work honestly and seriously have no chance to succeed. Give them a chance and give yourself a chance. To be honest, I am serious about everyone. Unfortunately, in the end our personalities are still incompatible, and a good breakup is the best solution. My parents talked to me seriously about who I should marry. If they can get along with my temper, are willing to give up the spotlight and stay at home, and can accept my choice, but in the end, none of them are suitable. You have few contacts with girls now. This is an opportunity. If she is suitable, why can't she become your real girlfriend? Talk more and maybe you will meet the right one. What we are doing now is no different from a blind date, Mabo said seriously. Lin Yide and Mabo's persuasion made Su Pinggan feel much better. He began to browse the information seriously. Mabo and Lin Yide looked at each other secretly and let out a long sigh. The purpose of the two was to help Su Pinggan get out of the shadow of the past. Zhang Wenjun, who was sitting on the side, smiled and said nothing. He understood the two people's approach. As a good friend, Su Pinggan said that he had come out, but in fact, there was still a hurdle in his heart that he had not overcome. Otherwise, he would not have been single all the time. If you want to really get over this hurdle, you must have someone by your side. The brothers also have good intentions. Lin Yide also gave it his all and went to the side to make a phone call to his father. This time he was not doing it for fun, but to help Su Pinggan get out of his heart knot. As Su Pinggan's good brother, he had no choice but to help. The call lasted about 20 minutes, and then he came back refreshed and made an okay gesture to Mabo. Mabo shook his head and smiled, without saying anything else, understanding Lin Yide's thoughts. The decision was made in about an hour. Mabo will start negotiating with these companies tomorrow. Zhang Wenjun started calling to ask his wife to accompany him. Soon, Su Pinggan and the other two will have beautiful women to accompany them, so that they won't be lonely and uncomfortable. Tonight, everyone went to bed early and waited for Mabo's news tomorrow. The night passed quickly. Early in the morning, Mabo went out after breakfast and didn't come back until dinner. Then he began to assign tasks. Everyone will have their own tasks tomorrow. Gossip fees are not so easy to earn. You must follow the script of the planning department. Su Pinggan's script is to run and meet the target tomorrow morning. Miao Yi, a newcomer who is being trained by Brothers Pictures, is 22 years old this year. She was not admitted to the Drama Academy, but was discovered by Brothers Pictures. To date, she has been secretly trained for several years. Since last year, she has participated in some variety shows and some TV dramas, and slowly debuted, cultivating her acting skills step by step. The effect is very good. She looks pure and her popularity is gradually and steadily rising. These big companies have a very long-term vision. Traffic is only temporary, but real acting skills are lifelong. If a company wants to develop, it must have real actors. They are secretly trained, and the development path is very stable. Brothers Pictures has communicated with Miao Yi and others about the scandal. Everything is a voluntary choice. If you don't want to, the company will still invest in you. You continue to follow the routine. At most, it will take a little longer to become popular, but there will be no loss. Actors with good reputations are indispensable to any company. They are a must. Let you choose your own future path, so that you don't need to regret it in the future. If you speak clearly, there will be no barriers, and the cooperative relationship can last long. Relying on coercion, threats, and deception will not last long. These big companies can stand for many years because of this kind of equal and voluntary cooperative relationship between the two parties. They use emotions and interests to win people's hearts. These two are inseparable. If only one of them is taken up, it will not last long. Miao Yi volunteered to start the scandal because she didn't want to follow the routine. Although this road is very stable, with the passage of time, her income, number of fans, and influence are all increasing. But Miao Yi is a little unwilling to wait. Lying in bed thinking about tomorrow's things, she really didn't expect that she would be selected. She had also seen Su Pinggan's photos. He was definitely a handsome guy, young and rich, and there were no scandals. It was reasonable to consider him as a standard good man for the time being. Miao Yi and others knew very well that Su Pinggan was led astray by Mabo, the boss of the 507 dormitory and a famous playboy. As a good friend of Su Pinggan, Mabo must have a deep influence on Su Pinggan. If the good thing with Su Pinggan came true, Su Pinggan would definitely stay away from Mabo, the playboy. When Miao Yi thought of this, the expression on her face was very firm. After being firm for a while, Miao Yi's face turned red. Su Pinggan was not so easy to win. Her agent, Qian Hong, had analyzed this carefully for her. The bosses of these large companies must be determined. Once they decide on something, they will definitely go ahead. It is very difficult for a woman to influence the decision-making of these bosses. Body shape and appearance are not the main thing. Talent is the foundation. At least you have to have a world-class vision. Although Su Pinggan's startup depends on luck, you can't underestimate it. Another thing is that if you accompany Su Pinggan for a few days, you have to live with Su Pinggan. Thinking of this, Miao Yi's face began to turn red and her heartbeat accelerated. When he wants that, will she agree or not? If she refuses him, will he let her leave directly? This opportunity is scrambled by many people. Once she quits, someone will immediately fill it. When the time comes, Miao Yi begins to struggle. The crispness when she agreed is gone, and finally she falls asleep in a daze. It was not until early in the morning that she was woken up by her agent, Sister Hong. "My lady, get up and wash up, it's getting late." Qian Hong pulled Miao Yi up and asked her to go to the bathroom to wash up. Qian Hong did not rest, but began to prepare clothes for Miao Yi, a very sunny transport suit, headgear, wrist guards, knee pads, sports watches, Bluetooth headphones, sports bags, etc., very complete. At the same time, Su Pinggan also began to wash up. The sports suits had been purchased yesterday, and he specifically asked to buy a Li-Ning brand, supporting domestic products. Foreign brands are not chosen at all. This is Su Pinggan's habit. Chapter 142, you can still play like this. Su Pinggan's support for domestic products is not just talk, but he really does it. Unless it is a last resort, he will only choose domestic products, including the purchases of Shianki Company, and try to purchase domestic brands. He took a cold shower, wiped himself clean, put on a sports suit, opened the door and went out directly. The bodyguards had already prepared yesterday and borrowed an electric car from the hotel. They followed not far away and provided support at any time if something happened. This is not a busy area. The surrounding greenery is very good. It is also close to the sea. Su Pinggan started running according to the scheduled route and ran along the slow lane of the seaside highway. Many people started running and exercising during this period. After running for a while, he saw a girl with an excellent figure in front of him running. From time to time, he looked back. Su Pinggan also smiled and recognized her. Miao Yi kept running over. Miao Yi also saw Su Pinggan, her face inexplicably blushed, and she started jogging. Su Pinggan ran to Miao Yi and said hi. Hi. Miao Yi responded, thinking that the real person was more sunny than the photo. Together, Su Pinggan said directly. Okay, Miao Yi said, and the two began to run together, and Miao Yi also relaxed a little. The two ran together for a while before stopping, panting. Formally meet, Su Pinggan. Su Pinggan smiled and stretched out his right hand. Miao Yi also said cheerfully. Miao Yi thought it over. Sister Hong was right. This was the path she chose. Let go a little, be cheerful, leave a good impression on each other. Even if they are not lovers, they can make friends, and it is easier for people to accept it. Can you still run? Su Pinggan asked. No problem, I exercise regularly, Miao Yi said with a smile. Su Pinggan also smiled, and liked Miao Yi's cheerful personality very much. He made a gesture of invitation, and the two continued to jog. Not far away, professionals had already taken continuous photos of the two, and left directly after the shooting. A few photos with Miao Yi's head, but not Su Pinggan's head, will be selected and handed over to the planning department to release the news, little by little, to rouse your curiosity first. This is the first step. The two of them were jogging, talking and laughing, and they kept running for a while. Both of them were sweating a lot. Miao Yi was a girl after all, and her physical strength was much worse than Su Pinggan. No, I can't run anymore. Miao Yi stopped, bent over and supported her knees with both hands. Take a break, Su Pinggan said directly, and then waved to the electric car in the distance, and the electric car drove directly over. Su Pinggan took 2 bottles of sports drinks and handed one to Miao Yi. The two began to walk back, talking and laughing all the way. Both of them were involved. Mabo said it was right. This is just like a blind date. Just get to know each other slowly. Along the way, Su Pinggan sent Miao Yi back to the hotel and agreed to have dinner together in the evening. After they separated, Su Pinggan returned to the hotel. The first step was successfully completed, and it felt good. This was Su Pinggan's idea. Su Pinggan didn't know that photos of the two of them had already started to appear on the internet, and the internet trolls had started to take action. They were all old friends, and they knew very well what to say. It's not easy to be an internet troll these days, and you have to cooperate well to get the next business. Those who are not good enough will be eliminated directly, which is very brain-consuming. An anonymous netizen posted a post on Miao Yi's fan bar, saying that when I got up this morning to run, I found that the goddess was running with a mysterious man. Unfortunately, I didn't see the mysterious man's face, and I don't know if this mysterious man can match my Yi. Although it's only a little after 8 o'clock, there are already more than 200 discussions below. First floor, no way, you took the photo there. Second floor, it's really my Yi. My Yi is still so charming without makeup. Third floor, Yi, hold on, that dog man is not worthy of you, I am your destination. Fourth floor, from the photos, they should have met while running, identification completed. Fifth floor, he must be a scumbag, now scumbags are fighting hard to pick up girls. Sixth floor, such a scumbag who fights hard can't be called a scumbag, running is very tiring, okay, you have to stay rational, you have to control yourself. Picture, 7th floor, my Yi is so sunny when running, brother also went running, and I will find you to run and lose weight. 8th floor, the fat guy upstairs can go to the toilet. My Yi will not like fat Otaku. As time passed, the building was built higher and higher, and the ranking was rising in a straight line. Miao Yi returned to the hotel, took a shower, and went to rest directly, to take a nap. I didn't sleep well last night, and I was so tired from running that I fell asleep on the bed and had no energy at all. I got up at almost 11 o'clock, and saw Sister Hong looking at the data on the sofa. Yi, come and take a look, your fan bar has responded. Sister Hong smiled and waved her hand. Miao Yi came to sit next to her and watch together. See, in the past, there were not many active people in your fan bar during this period of time, but today it has set a record. The number of active people is more than 10 times that of the past. Qian Hong looked at Miao Yi and said with a smile. How many of these are arranged by the company? Miao Yi asked calmly. Yi, except for the host who was arranged by the company, the rest are not, Sister Hong said calmly, and Miao Yi was stunned for a moment. The power of gossip is so great. Miao Yi has experienced the power of hype today. She only heard about it before, but today she really experienced it. What do you think? Some time ago, a celebrity couple, in order to save their popularity, directly directed a news report about the woman cheating. The man played the role of a good man on Weibo and earned millions overnight. The woman also got millions from major traffic companies because of the scandal. The couple made millions instantly by doing this, and even became a hot topic. This is what a master does, don't you understand? Sister Hong pointed out to Miao Yi. Is it true? I even gave her a reward to comfort her at that time, Miao Yi said directly. What do you think? If this kind of thing happens to ordinary people, they will get divorced directly. Are they divorced? Just wait and see. The follow-up will be a while of tug-of-war, and it will be another income. The man has a certain personality, so he can start a big drama directly. As for the woman, she takes care of the child and pretends to be charitable. And slowly whitewashes herself. Anyway, there is no real evidence. In the end, the two of them issued a statement, saying that everything is for the child, and they'll reconcile as before. What a touching scene. The man who cheated on the woman can also gain huge fame, make money from the traffic company, be quiet in China, and then go to Hong Kong, Macau and Taiwan to make some trouble. After the new year, he will come back and start a sincere apology and reform himself, which is another wave of dividends. Have you figured it out? Reputation is nothing. Making money is the main thing, Sister Hong said calmly. She has been in the entertainment industry for 20 years and has seen everything. Many things are just not talked about, which does not mean they don't know. It can actually be played like this, which completely overturned Miao Yi's thinking. In the past, the company shielded many dark things from Miao Yi in order to protect her. Now it is time to let Miao Yi slowly get in touch with it and adjust her mentality to go further. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 143. If I don't torture them severely, I won't be able to vent my anger. Miao Yi was shocked and didn't speak for a long time. Qian Hong didn't ask Miao Yi anything. She had to adjust herself. If you can't adjust yourself, leave this industry as soon as possible. Not everyone can survive in the entertainment industry. Sister Hong, is there true love in the entertainment industry? Miao Yi asked with a complicated expression and frowned. Yes, it requires both parties to pay, and it's not a small number. After all, there are only a few people who play shamelessly like this. Most people still keep themselves clean, except for those traffic stars who rely on their youth. They are just making money now because they know very well that their set can't last long. Make a lot of money now. Even if you sink in a few years, you will live a carefree life with no worries about food and clothing. So Yi, what path you want to take in the future, you must consider it now. People must have principles and bottom lines. Only in this way can you go far. Do you understand? Qian Hong looked at Miao Yi and said seriously. I understand Sister Hong. I will go down step by step and will not kill the chicken to get the eggs, Miao Yi said seriously. It's good to understand. This is your chance. You must seize it. You must leave a good impression on Su Pinggan no matter what. If you can't be lovers, you can be friends. One day in the future, if Su Pinggan helps you, you will be rich. If you are willing to give up, you must be bold to do it. Opportunities are rare. If you miss them, you will never come back. Qian Hong looked at Miao Yi meaningfully and said seriously. This opportunity is really rare. If Miao Yi can't grasp it, she will definitely regret it for the rest of her life. I know, Sister Hong. Miao Yi blushed and understood what Qian Hong meant. She must not be soft-handed. At noon, Su Pinggan had a meal alone. Marbo and Lin Yad both had dates. They had to pay for the gossip fee. Zhang Wenjun went to the airport to pick up his wife. With his wife by his side, Zhang Wenjun could also withstand the temptation. After a rest in the afternoon, Su Pingyan took Miao Yi to dinner in the evening. The location must be a high-end restaurant. Su Pingyan was very talkative, and Miao Yi was really relaxed. The topic of their discussion unconsciously turned to movies. Is the film industry so complicated? Su Pingyan asked. According to what Miao Yi said, the film industry is really not something that ordinary people can play with. It's not a matter of money. It's true. Although our brother's film company is very big, if it really collapses, it will only take a word from the boss above. Another thing is that the box office statistics are not small. Many box office sales are not included in the statistics. This part is all due to the failure of the theaters. You really can't play this industry if you don't have a strong network of people, Miao Yi said seriously. Miao Yi has heard a lot about Brothers Film Company and the theaters arguing with each other and secretly playing tricks on each other. Although everyone usually meets in a harmonious manner and laughs, they secretly trip each other up and are not soft at all. Originally, I wanted to set up a film company for fun. According to what you said, it's better not to play. There are too many messy things. Su Pingyan shook his head and said that the water here is too deep, so it's better not to participate. It's so hard for us young actors to make a name for ourselves. There are only so many resources. If you take more, others will have less. Internal competition is very fierce. There are all kinds of tricks that you can't defend yourself against. Having a good agent can avoid a lot of things. Otherwise, it's hard for you to survive. I and several sisters are pretty good. We have been trained by the company and are making steady progress. Too many people don't have this opportunity. Now that the internet is so developed, many people have taken advantage of the internet to come out, and the competition is even more cruel. Miao Yi was inspired. It's not easy to get into the business world either. There are all kinds of tricks that you can't defend yourself against. Either you eat up my company or I eat up your company, leaving you with nothing to rely on. Therefore, mastering core technology and not going public can avoid a lot of things. Su Pingyan was also inspired at this moment. I have communicated with Lin Yide and Mabo. Although Lin Yide looks glorious, there are also many hidden arrows behind him. In terms of air conditioners, in order to suppress Lin Yide's company, old electrical appliance companies collectively put pressure on Japanese compressor suppliers. We must cut off Lin Yide's supply, otherwise, we will give up purchasing from you. This forced Lin Yide to go to Japan 5 times before he negotiated with another supplier and resolved the compressor crisis. Why is Lin Yide so aggressive? He was forced to do so. If I am not happy, I will not make you happy either. He directly broke the industry rules and prices and fought his way out, which made those old-fashioned electrical appliance manufacturers very worried. This is also due to the Lin family's local network of relationships. They have good relations with many companies in Jiangsu and Zhejiang. Many spare parts are not out of stock. Otherwise, you will fall in minutes. This is not a casual statement. The same is true for Mabo. There was nothing wrong in the first year of starting a business. In the second year, someone deliberately cut off Mabo's supply. Mabo could not sell so much with its own production capacity. Overnight, 80 suppliers were out of stock. If it weren't for Mabo's father's strong opposition to transfer goods from the family business to Mabo, Mabo's online store would definitely not be as big as it is now. Now Mabo doesn't care. His own industrial chain has been completed. He continues to maintain low prices and high quality just to retaliate and make those old guys unable to make money. If he doesn't toss them hard, he won't be able to get rid of his anger. Young Master Ma also has a very bad temper. Su Pingyan is really lucky. Who can compete with his super fish oil? In addition, the advent of super paint has laid a solid foundation. With a huge amount of funds, it is no longer realistic for you to suppress the Apocalypse Group. It is already a blessing for the Apocalypse Group not to toss around in their industry. If the Apocalypse Group really intervenes, it will definitely cause a reshuffle in the industry. The same is true for the mobile phone industry now. It is like facing a great enemy. All major manufacturers know that it is only a matter of time before the Apocalypse Group enters the mobile phone market. The two chatted and finished a bottle of wine. Miao Yi's face was slightly flushed, which made Su Pingyan moved. Miao Yi saw Su Pingyan's look and gave Su Pingyan a blank look. Su Pingyan smiled. The chat was very pleasant. After dinner, Su Pingyan sent Miao Yi back to the hotel, and then he went back to the hotel to rest. He slept very easily at night. After taking this step, Su Pinggan felt a lot more relaxed. Perhaps, he really should have a woman by his side. The next day, Miao Yi's fan group began to stir again. A photo taken with a mobile phone was flooded on the screen. You can clearly see Miao Yi's laughing expression. As for who the man opposite Miao Yi was, he couldn't see it clearly because he was dazzled by the light. Chapter 144 The reality is so terrifying. The host clearly indicated that the filming location was in Shanghai, which aroused the fans' speculation. The number of active users increased again, and the planning department started activities again. This time, not only Miao Yi's fan group was active, but also some small internet media began to report news about Miao Yi. The Water Army began to guide, saying that celebrities are also human beings, and it is normal to have a boyfriend. There are many topics such as long as you don't meet a scumbag, you can accept it, and this kind of topic is endless. Yi, the activity of your name has doubled compared to yesterday. I believe there will be an explosive growth tomorrow, or it will start tonight. You should be mentally prepared in advance, Qian Hong said to Miao Yi, and Miao Yi nodded seriously. The next script is to have dinner with Su Pinggan and others, and then be licensed by the media. As a woman next to Su Pinggan, the attention must be very high, because this is the world's largest rich son-in-law. At noon, Su Pinggan took Miao Yi, Mabo took Halis, Lin Yi took Shangwen Rumen, and Zhang Wenhun took his wife Zhao Yunayan. The 8 people had dinner together. In a large private room, before the food and drinks were served, Su Pinggan and his 4 companions were chatting and puffing cigarettes. The exhaust fan was on, and the 4 people were close to the window, so the smoke was exhausted. Zhao Yunayan was chatting with Miao Yi and the others on the sofa not far away. The topics between women were not discussed by men, and they did not understand them. They were all about how to take care of the skin, clothes, bags, nail art and so on. Wenhun, how is your company's shares going? Lin Yi asked. I have already taken back 17%. The remaining 3 relatives are unwilling to sell and plan to ask me for a high price. The price I gave is not low, a premium of 40%. Now it is in a stalemate, Zhang Wenhun said with a frown. What are your plans for the next step? Su Pinggan asked, and Zhang Wenhun shook his head, indicating that he had no plans recently. Wenhun, think of a plan with huge investment, dilute their shares, and put pressure on them. Without any pressure, they will not sell, Su Pinggan said to Zhang Wenhun. Pinggan is right, that's what I did, otherwise, the family business would not have come to me, Mabo followed. I don't know what to do next. I don't want to expand in the same way as before. I haven't thought about other ways yet, Zhang Wenhun said frankly. It's not that simple to run a travel company. I do have an idea, Mabo said with a smile. Zhang Wenhun looked at Mabo and said if he had an idea, he would say it. Let's open a hotel in the scenic area. The reason I have this idea is that the hotel in my tea base is profitable. For those who come to travel here, they don't need to worry about food and accommodation. Everything is arranged for you. The price of buying tea will also be very affordable, therefore, my tea base receives many guests every day, and the room price is not expensive. It is very comfortable and clean to stay in the tea garden for a day or 2 to relax and take some tea away. It's very comfortable and easy. Looking at the current tourism market, the accommodation conditions vary, and the phenomenon of overcharging tourists frequently occurs. You can create a one-stop service. When you travel through your travel agency, you don't need to worry about food and accommodation, and the problem of tour guides. As long as you solve this problem, you don't need to worry about losing money at all, Mabo looked at Zhang Wenhun and said directly. What you said is really a way. Look at Leoniu Travel Network. You can also start a travel network, improve your industry configuration step by step, let people travel happily, and the reputation will come out. Are you still worried about the profit? Su Pinggan looked at Zhang Wenhun and said directly. Brother, this requires a large investment, not 1 or 200 million can solve it. Zhang Wenhun rubbed his head and said that he had considered this point. If it develops like this, it will take up a lot of funds. What are you worried about? What you need now is to take back the shares. After you take back the shares, I can support you with part of the funds. You will develop slowly and cover the travel routes you operate first. Is this difficult? Your own funds can completely solve the problem of expansion. What will happen in a few years? At that time, you can completely copy this set to enter overseas. With a continuous blood transfusion of the mainland market, you have the confidence to expand, Su Pinggan said seriously. Zhang Wenyan thought about it seriously. This path is completely feasible. His several hotels in LS are profitable. He can completely copy this model. I will execute it when I go back. The issue of shares must be resolved this year. I don't have time to tangle with them, it's time to eat. The dishes are here, Zhao Yunyan shouted from the side. Su Pinggan and the others put out their cigarettes, walked over and started eating. This meal was quite happy. They were all young people and had common topics. The wine was Jiananjian, which was Su Pinggan's favorite. The ladies drank juice, and the men drank wine. The four of them finished 3 bottles of white wine. After paying the bill, they left the private room and went downstairs with a feeling of being a little drunk. Miao Yi took Su Pinggan's coat, took Su Pinggan's arm, went downstairs and took a car to leave. Without exception, the two were photographed. That afternoon, the photos began to spread wildly on the internet. Qi Yanhong looked at the data in the hotel, her face full of shock. In just over 3 hours, Miao Yi's boyfriend was Su Pinggan, and this news became the #1 hot search. Qi Yanhong immediately picked up the phone and called the planning department, but soon hung up the phone with a look of shock on her face. The planning department had planned to push the news to the top of the hot search list, but in the end, it had already firmly occupied the top spot before they could act. Reality is so terrifying. The planning department immediately changed its strategy, and the sister company's website immediately published the latest news, announcing the release of a huge investment of 300 million yuan. The TV series starring Miao Yi will start filming in the middle of next month. Strike while the iron is hot, this favorable wind will be a waste if not used. The reporters outside were all excited, and many media outlets sent capable personnel to the Magic City to get first-hand information. This was the first time Su Pinggan reported gossip, and he must not let it go. Chapter 145 5 No Principles. Starting from the second day, Su Pinggan and Miao Yi started to wander around. Mabo and the others did the same. They didn't stay in the hotel. They had beautiful women around them. Shanghai was a modern city. How could they not have some fun? Miao Yi completely dominated the screen. Originally, there were only a few thousand people following her on Weibo. Now, it has directly risen to more than 100,000, and it is still increasing. The sister company also invested a lot of money to start public relations. Miao Yi's dancing videos, singing videos, etc. began to appear on major websites. Her popularity soared sharply. Song Zhemin couldn't help laughing when looking at the data report in his hand. The 5 million scandal fee was really worth it. There were good and bad people. Many people said that Su Pinggan had learned bad things. It was 100% because he was led astray by the dormitory boss Mabo. There were quite a lot of people who supported this view. When several people gathered for dinner, Mabo severely punished Su Pinggan with a few glasses. The women around him were all smiling. Gossip about Su Pinggan and others was everywhere. The organizing committee of the Young Entrepreneurs Forum was helpless. The news media reported the news about Su Pinggan and others like they had discovered a new continent, and suppressed the popularity of the forum. But what can you do? It is normal for a young man to have a girlfriend. The man is unmarried and the woman is unmarried. No one can say anything. You can't say that dating is illegal. It was not until 2 days before the meeting that the popularity of Su Pinggan began to decline. Entrepreneurs from all over the country came one after another. Su Pinggan still mixed with his brothers and did not communicate with other entrepreneurs like others. Those who communicated were basically acquaintances. They attended the dinner party hosted by Liu Dongdong of Dongdong.com. The two companies are strategic partners. They don't have the opportunity to meet at ordinary times. Now they are in Shanghai, so they have to have a meal together to communicate. The location is a private restaurant by the sea. Su Pinggan did not bring Miao Yi with him. This time, the dinner party was attended by the CEOs of major companies. None of them brought female companions. It would not be suitable for Su Pinggan to bring one. There were not many people, only 5 including Su Pinggan. It was a relatively private dinner, and the people who could attend were basically the people Liu Dongdong trusted. This time, he invited Su Pinggan to come, and he also asked several friends in advance. No objection was raised, so Su Pinggan was invited. When Su Pinggan arrived, Liu Dongdong and the other 4 had already arrived. They came together. Seeing Su Pinggan coming, several stood up. "Pinggan, let me introduce you, Liu Dongdong said with a smile, and Su Ping'an also walked over with a smile on his face. Ping'an, this is Zhu Tai from Whale Capital. This is Lu Jiangxin, chairman of Shianda Electronics Group. This is Zhao Zhihan from Suda Seafood Import and Export Company. After Liu Dongdong introduced, Su Ping'an shook hands with the three people, and everyone sat down. Su Ping'an sat next to Liu Dongdong, and the waiter next to him came to replace the tea and water, knowing very well what to do at the moment. Most of the conversation was done by Liu Dongdong and the other four. Su Ping'an listened again and was very surprised. These three people turned out to be old friends of Liu Dongdong, who had known each other for many years and had started to cooperate when Liu Dongdong had not yet started his business. The first fund Liu Dongdong used to create Dongdong.com included loans from three people, and Liu Dongdong was not even asked to write an IOU, which shows that the four people have a very close relationship. Ping'an, are you planning to get involved in the mobile phone market? Lu Jiangxin asked after taking a sip of tea. Yes, I am planning to do so, Su Ping'an admitted. That's great, Lao Lu, you will have to have a drink with Ping'an later, and your two companies can definitely cooperate, Liu Dongdong said with a smile. Brother Lu is also planning to enter the mobile phone market, Su Ping'an asked curiously. Calling him brother was a unanimous request from the four people, and Su Ping'an also agreed, so that they could appear closer. That's not the case. My electronics company is currently providing accessories for many mobile phone manufacturers, including Huawei, Mimi, Zixing, Guogu, QQ, Lianlian and other mobile phone manufacturers. That's why Lao Liu said we can cooperate, Lu Jiangxin said with a smile. This is a must for cooperation, and Brother Lu will need more support in the future, Su Ping'an also said with a smile, raising his teacup and clinking it with Lu Jiangxin. There is a lot of competition in the mobile phone industry. Which route do you plan to take? Liu Dongdong asked with a smile. Apple route, closed system, Su Ping'an said easily. Liu Dongdong and the others were all stunned, but they quickly reacted with shock on their faces. You have developed a mobile phone operating system? Liu Dongdong asked with a look of shock. This has been around for a long time. A hacker in China developed one by himself. It is not very mature. I directly acquired it. The current progress is very fast. It is expected to be completely formed next year. The relevant patents are currently being applied for. When all the patents are approved, I will hold a press conference to announce the launch of the domestic mobile phone operating system, Su Ping'an said calmly. Okay, I admire you. If you need funds, just say so. I will fully support you, Zhu Tai couldn't help but say, and everyone laughed. Old Zhu, I'm afraid it will be very difficult for you to raise funds from Ping'an. I guess Ping'an's cash reserves are thicker than your whale capital, Zhao Ziheng said with a smile. Brother Zhao still understands me, Su Ping'an also said with a smile, raised his teacup and clinked it with Zhao Ziheng. Stop drinking tea, switch to wine, Zhao Ziheng was very happy and said to the waiter directly. 5 or 6 dishes had already been served, so they could start drinking. Ping'an, do you plan to go public? Liu Dongdong asked, and he was very concerned about this. With the strength of the Apocalypse Group, even if it was the subsidiary Poseidon Company or the Paint Company, any of them would definitely give birth to a large company with a market value of over $50 billion, which would only be higher and not lower. My Apocalypse Group, including its subsidiaries, will never go public. I plan to follow the path of the old mother's hot sauce, no loans, no equity, no financing, no listing, no guarantees. These 5 principles are the red lines of my Apocalypse Group, and no one is allowed to violate them. Once it goes public, it will face a lot of supervision, and it will not be as happy and efficient as I am now. Besides, those listed companies will compete with me for cash reserves, and I will never lose, no matter which company it is, Su Ping'an said this proudly. You are awesome, I surrender, Zhu Tai said with a smile, raised his glass and clinked it with Su Ping'an, took a big sip, and everyone started eating. Chapter 146 Childish. As far as I know, the Shenzhen Stock Exchange went to Gizhou again this year to discuss the listing with Lao Mama, but the old lady clearly refused. Too many people want to list excellent companies like Lao Mama, but this type of company just doesn't go public. They can't get any benefits, and they feel itchy like a cat scratching them, Zhu Tai said slowly. You guys hit the nail on the head. If I had a company like Lao Mama or Ping'an, I wouldn't go public either. Dongdong.com is listed, but you don't know how uncomfortable it is. No matter what you do, you have to communicate again and again. Too many people are staring at you. Even if you spend money on corporate strategic layout, you will be asked by quite a lot of people, which makes you very annoyed. Liu Dongdong said this absolutely from his heart, and everyone understood. Talking and drinking, time passed quickly. In a blink of an eye, 3 bottles of white wine were finished, and another bottle was opened. Drink as much as you can, as you like. Ping-an, with the operating system, how do you build your ecological chain? The ecological chains of Guoguo system and Huazhou system are very mature, and this is very critical. Lu Jiangxin put down his teacup and asked, Brother Lu, don't worry. Those app companies will rush to cooperate with me and will definitely develop various applications for my Pangu system. I can't tell you the details now, Su Pinggan said with profound meaning. Several people were moved. It seemed that Su Pinggan was really sure. I'm telling you now. Your mobile phone must be first released on dongdong.com. Otherwise, I will fight you with a box of wine, Liu Dongdong said with a smile, and everyone laughed. They all understood that although there was a joke in his words, it also showed that Liu Dongdong was very optimistic about Su Pinggan's mobile phone. This can be seen. Brother Dong, don't worry. The first release platform must be dongdong.com. This is a principle. After Su Pinggan finished speaking, he picked up the wine glass, and Liu Dongdong also picked it up. The two clinked their glasses and drank it in one gulp. Tonight, several people were very happy. The 4th bottle of white wine was finished by 5 people. They were all dizzy and were helped to the car by the people around them. Su Pinggan was the same. Next, the dinner Su Pinggan attended were arranged by Mabo, Lin Yide, and Zhang Wenyan. There were no outsiders. It was not that Su Pinggan did not want to have dinner and communicate with other entrepreneurs, but there was a big gap between them. The youngest was almost 1 generation older than Su Pinggan. Mabo, Lin Yide, and Zhang Wenyan were also uncomfortable. The definition of youth was too broad. There were many people who were almost 50 years old and received the top 10 outstanding youth awards in various places. Su Pinggan and the other 4 were in their 20s. It was really uncomfortable to be with these people. There was a lack of common language. This was also the fundamental reason why several people were unwilling to participate in those forums. Everyone was your elder, uncle, and aunt, shouting all day long. It was painful. The forum was held for 4 days. Miao Yidai accompanied Su Pinggan to attend the meeting every day and listened to the speeches of the guests. Both of them benefited a lot. Su Pinggan was better. Miao Yidai was really eye-opening this time. A new window opened in Miao Yidai's mind. The meeting time was more than 2 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the afternoon. The arrangement was relatively tight. Many people expressed their views on the domestic and international economy. The organizing committee arranged a considerable number of stenographers to record. After the meeting, these speeches will be analyzed and discussed, and fine-tuned in combination with the current market, so that the market economy will become healthier and more stable, and economic development will be like 100 flowers blooming, which is what the country wants. On the 3rd day, the organizing committee issued a notice that the last guest speech of the forum was moved to the hotel's theater. Many people were stunned. It was moved there. Can't the conference room accommodate them? There really is no room. Su Pinggan will speak tomorrow afternoon. There are more than 400 media reporters who have been notified in advance, and more than 1,000 entrepreneurs have registered to participate. In addition to other staff, the large conference room cannot bear it. It can only be moved to a larger theater, which can accommodate 2,000 people. On this day, several guests who spoke in the morning looked at the people present, and then looked at each other. They couldn't hide their anger. There were only more than 100 people in such a large conference room. It was embarrassing. They had to keep smiling and answer various questions, interact with the visitors, and express their views on the economy. Is Su Pinggan your real father? You media praise him so much? This is the inner roar of several people. Among the more than 100 people, more than 30 are reporters, and most of the rest are friends. Moreover, they all look like they haven't woken up yet. Most of the people focused on Su Pinggan's speech in the afternoon. The speeches in the morning were automatically filtered. There was no popularity. How could the guests not be angry? They had to go through the procedures even if they were angry. Su Pinggan slept until more than 12 o'clock today and was woken up by Miao Yidai. Last night, Su Pinggan and Lin Yide played cards until more than 1 o'clock. Zhang Wenyan's family won, and Mabo, Su Pinggan, and Lin Yide lost. They were very upset. After returning to the room, they tossed and turned with Miao Yi several times before falling asleep. Women, their bodies recover much faster than men. Miao Yi got up at more than 10 o'clock to wash up, looked at Su Pinggan, shook her head helplessly and smiled bitterly. During this period of time with Su Pinggan, Miao Yi found that Su Pinggan was sometimes very childish. Not only Su Pinggan, but also when the women were talking to each other, Lin Yide, Mabo, and Zhang Wenyan were also very childish. This made the women very confused. How could they succeed with such irrationality and childishness? Theoretically, there was no possibility of success, but the four of them were very successful. Don't underestimate the wisdom of Miao Yi and Zhao Yunyan. Zhao Yunyan also graduated with top grades. Although Miao Yi and the others did not go to college, they never stopped learning, and the knowledge they learned was definitely not inferior to college courses. In the past 2 days, Miao Yi has also been thinking about a relationship with Su Pinggan. Even if there was no scandal, her temper was not compatible with Su Pinggan. Su Pinggan was childish and didn't care about anything. He was irrational. Zhao Lizi, who accompanied Mabo, and Shangwen Rumen, who accompanied Lin Yide, both said that they could be confidants or friends. If they were together for a long time, they both said they couldn't accept it. Miao Yi also felt this. After being woken up by Miao Yi, Su Pinggan went to the bathroom to wash up. Miao Yi ordered some food to be sent over. Su Pinggan took a shower, ate the food, and left the hotel with Miao Yi. He had his hair done in a hair salon not far away. He looked very energetic with a buzz cut. The hairdresser was a Spanish beauty, an international student, who opened this hair salon with several classmates after graduation. Chapter 147 Speech, I. Lucy, your technique is very good, Su Pinggan said to the mirror. I am honored to be praised by Mr. Su, Lucy said with a smile, and Su Pinggan also smiled. Give me the bill, Su Pinggan said directly. Mr. Su, no bill is needed, we are free, just Mr. Su and I need to take a photo together. I hope to achieve greater development with the help of Mr. Su's reputation, Lucy said directly, not feeling embarrassed at all. This kind of thing is very common in Europe and the United States. Lucy, it's okay to take a photo, give me the bill, that is the reward you deserve for your labor, Su Pinggan said directly, although he could save a little, but there was no need to do so, it would be better to be generous. Oh, thank you Mr. Su, Lucy said with a smile, and Miao Yi beside him smiled and shook her head, wondering when she could have such treatment. Soon, the people in the hair salon appeared, and Su Pinggan took photos with these people in a friendly manner. The atmosphere was very good. After taking photos with Lucy, Lucy suddenly attacked and kissed Su Pinggan directly, and Su Pinggan was obviously stunned. The people around were shouting loudly, while Lucy put on a triumphant expression. Su Pinggan shook his head helplessly and smiled, not realizing that this scene had been recorded by someone with a mobile phone. He looked at the time and it was almost time. The meeting was held at 2 p.m. It was already past 1 p.m., and it would take some time to get to the meeting place, so Su Pinggan and his group left directly. When they arrived at the meeting place, Su Pinggan separated from Miao Yi. Su Pinggan went to the backstage, while Miao Yi went to the venue to meet up with Zhao Yunyan and the others. She had told Zhao Yunyan and the others in advance to take a seat for herself, so that it would be easier for several people to be together. There were only 3 people who needed to speak in the afternoon, 2 foreigners and Su Pinggan himself, Professor Burris, the chief economic advisor of Hendry Insurance Company, the 3rd largest insurance company in the United States. This was a powerful person who also served as a lecturer in the Department of Economics at Harvard University. The other person was Dr. Curry, the chief analyst of Union Bank of Switzerland, who is also a very famous figure in the economics world. Dr. Curry's articles could be found in many authoritative newspapers and magazines around the world. It can be said that the 3 speakers this afternoon are all heavyweights, and the organizing committee has made great efforts to arrange the personnel. A lot of reporters have gathered at the scene, and many foreign media have also come. Boris and Curry are organizing their speeches, while Su Pinggan is sitting aside drinking tea without a manuscript. The organizing committee originally wanted someone to write a manuscript according to Su Pinggan's ideas, but Su Pinggan refused in the end, saying that he couldn't remember such a long manuscript. He spoke truthfully and said whatever he thought about economic issues. The organizing committee held 3 meetings but no decision was made. Finally, it was approved after reporting to the superiors. When the time was almost up, The three came behind the scenes to prepare to go on stage, smiled and shook hands with each other. The two economic masters also knew Su Pinggan's name. The luckiest person of this century is not just a casual remark, but a real world-renowned person. Today's host is a host specially invited from Beijing, a generous, charming and elegant beauty Zhang Jiajia, who is responsible for hosting the finale of today. Others may not be able to calm down today's scene. There are more than 1,000 entrepreneurs and hundreds of reporters from major media, and the aura is very strong. Of course, there are many hosts who can calm the scene, but Zhang Jiajia is the only one who is suitable in age, gender, temperament and knowledge level. The 27-year-old Zhang Jiajia has 3 years of formal hosting experience, which is very suitable for the theme of youth. When the time came, Zhang Jiajia came on stage in a very solemn and fashionable outfit, which perfectly set off her temperament. The scene began to quiet down and the meeting officially began. After Zhang Jiajia said something, she began to invite guests to the stage. The first one to appear was Boris, then Curry, and finally Su Pinggan. With the appearance of Su Pinggan, the applause that broke out on the scene completely surpassed the first two, which shocked Zhang Jiajia. After shaking hands with Zhang Jiajia, the three sat down and began to discuss the world economy, the first item of the meeting. Professor Boris, Dr. Curry, Mr. Su, what do you three think of the current world economy? Zhang Jiajia began to ask. The two professors began to speak and discuss this issue through the translator beside them. Su Pinggan also listened very seriously, with a thoughtful expression from time to time. Time passed slowly. Basically, the two great men spoke, and Su Pinggan did not speak at all. Mr. Su, Professor Boris and Dr. Curry have expressed their views on the world economy. What do you think? Zhang Jiajia asked Su Pinggan. The two professors also looked at Su Pinggan, and the audience began to concentrate. Su Pinggan thought about it and said it honestly. There was nothing to be ashamed of. I really appreciate the opinions of the two professors. They have given me a lot of inspiration. But if you ask me, my opinion is very simple. That is, the world economy is not very good now. This is the same as the views of the two professors. Of course, the two professors analyzed it based on their own strength. I rely on my own feelings. I can't compare with the two great masters. Su Pinggan told the truth. Many people in the audience smiled bitterly. Su Pinggan really told the truth and applauded involuntarily. Soon the applause grew louder. Just for Su Pinggan's honesty, he deserved applause. He was definitely better than those who pretended to know. The two professors also thought so and applauded Su Pinggan. I have just been thinking about what the two professors said. Finally, I found that some of my views are a little different from the two professors. I still need to think about what the difference is. Now it is just a vague idea, Su Pinggan said truthfully. Many people were stunned. The two professors also became interested. Boris looked at Su Pinggan and said directly, Su, we are discussing now. You can say boldly that different opinions can collide with sparks of wisdom. Yes, Professor Boris is right. There is only one assignment for my class at Swiss University, that is, to put forward different opinions. Whether right or wrong, only when different opinions appear can the problem be solved well. Professor Curry also spoke. When Su Pinggan heard the translation, he started to applaud directly. He was impressed by the two professors' broad-mindedness. It was very rare for them to listen to different opinions with their status. As Su Pinggan applauded, the people below also began to applaud, affirming the broad-mindedness of the two professors. This chapter and the following chapters also have a name. I declare war on you, but I dare not use it. I am really afraid. Chapter 148, Speech, Part 2. Professor, both of you believe that the current world economic growth rate is slowing down. As time goes by, many countries will inevitably enter a recession, forming a chain reaction, and the world economy will inevitably be dragged into a recession. I think the world economy will not enter a recession. At this moment, the world economy is at a crossroads, a period of reshuffle of the global economy. Some countries will fall into economic recession, and correspondingly, the economies of some countries will rise strongly. Su Pinggan said his opinion seriously. Many people had a thoughtful expression, including the two professors. The global economic reshuffle is not a trivial matter. Su Pinggan really dared to say it. As for which countries are in economic recession and which countries are rising strongly, it depends on the ruling parties of these countries. Countries that withstand various pressures and have a long-term vision will definitely rise strongly, And those countries that seek short-term interests will inevitably enter a recession. Even if there is no recession for a while, it will not last long. I think everything will be clear in about 10 years. Of course, this is just my feeling. You can laugh it off. After all, my professional level is limited. Su Pinggan expressed his opinion. The scene was extremely quiet. Many people were thinking about this question, especially the leaders sitting below and the two professors on the stage. They didn't expect Su Pinggan to say this, but this was a bit ambiguous, which made you feel uncomfortable if you didn't ask clearly. Soon, many people noticed that everyone was quiet at the scene, and they were very surprised. Su Pinggan's words could have such great power. I don't think it's a big deal. Many people couldn't figure it out, but didn't say anything. Su, do you think the US economy will decline? Boris looked at Su Pinggan and asked seriously, breaking the silence at the scene. Professor, this proposition is a bit big. I haven't thought about this question and can't answer it, Su Pinggan said with a smile. Boris, Curry, and everyone at the scene laughed. Su Pinggan really spoke the truth. Ordinary people would not think about this question. Those who can think about this question are all senior officials and economists of the country. Okay, let me change the question. Will the Celestial Empire's economy decline? Boris continued to ask. Su Pinggan was stunned for a moment. What are you doing, big boss? How do you want me to say it? After thinking about it, he made a decision in his heart. This question is not easy to answer, but I have my own opinion, Su Pinggan said directly, risking his life. Everyone once again focused their attention, wanting to hear Su Pinggan's opinion. This was the first time Su Pinggan publicly revealed his views on the domestic economy. As the boss of Shaanxi Group, you absolutely cannot ignore Su Pinggan's opinion. First, China's economy will continue to maintain rapid development, and the economic size will further increase. I am very optimistic about this. Second, although the economy will increase, it is unbalanced. The proportion of real estate and finance is too high. Everyone knows that the proportion of real estate is large, so I will not say much. Let's talk about finance. I have read an analysis document and found a feature. Financial liquidity is very important. Whenever finance is highly active, it will bring prosperity to the real economy. However, this prosperity is very dangerous. Once there is a little disturbance and financial tightening, it will be a major blow to the real economy and national income. The damage caused is very large, so large that the country's economy will be like a stagnant pool for a considerable period of time, and it will form a very terrifying vicious circle. Therefore, I believe that the financial market must be strictly regulated, otherwise, the disadvantages will outweigh the advantages. Third, regional economic development is seriously unbalanced, and the economic gap between the East and the West is huge. Moreover, the economy of the South is too dependent on exports and has low technological content, making it difficult to form a continuously upgraded industrial advantage. The fourth is transportation. The cost of land transportation is too high and is rising year by year. If this problem is not solved, many entrepreneurs will be forced to move their companies inland just because of land transportation, creating a vicious cycle. One side is super developed, and the other side is super backward. It will eventually cause irreparable scars on the national economy. The later the adjustment, the greater the price to pay. That's all I think about. Because thinking too much is useless, I can't change anything. The specific way to do it still needs the country to make unified adjustments. I will follow the national policy. It's useless to think more, Su Pinggan said directly. This time it was even quieter. Many people were shocked. Su Pinggan really dared to say it. Many people in the organizing committee began to take out handkerchiefs to wipe their sweat. From time to time, they looked at the person sitting in the middle below, but saw that person's face was thinking seriously. Boris and Curry also studied the economy of the Celestial Empire. Many of their views were the same as Su Pinggan's, but they didn't say it. However, they still thought very seriously about Su Pinggan's views on finance and transportation. Especially in terms of transportation, which was an aspect that the two had previously seriously neglected. It also proved once again that different opinions can collide with sparks of wisdom and can see through what you have missed. Pa 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 pa, a person began to applaud. When the people on the organizing committee saw the applause, they all felt relieved and followed suit. The warm applause rang out again. The director of the organizing committee, Hong Jianzhong, gave Zhang Jiajia a look in a very secretive way. Zhang Jiajia understood and immediately began to speak. He entered the next stage and began to speak personally, expressing his own views. The first speaker was Professor Burris. Su Pinggan picked up a bottle of water and began to drink water. Fortunately, he just held back. In the future, if he had no choice, he would never speak again. It was really uncomfortable. He exhaled a long breath and began to listen to the speeches of the two professors. More than an hour later, the speeches of the two professors ended. It was Su Pinggan's turn. Looking down, Lin Yi gave Su Pinggan a thumbs up and told him to cheer up. Su Pinggan took a deep breath and strode to the podium in front. There was a warm applause from the audience. Su Pinggan's speech was all in plain language, very realistic and down-to-earth, much better than the stereotyped script reading. I really wanted to know what Su Pinggan would say. I pressed my hands down, and the applause began to fade, and slowly quieted down. Everyone, to be honest, I didn't plan to speak at the beginning, because I knew very well how I developed. What should I say when I come to the forum to speak? Should I talk about my luck? I think everyone here and many people in the world already know it very clearly. Su Pinggan smiled after saying this. Chapter 149 Speech, Part 3. Good-natured laughter began to be heard from the audience. Indeed, Su Pinggan was telling the truth. The media had already dug up Su Pinggan's fortune story very clearly. Su Pinggan pressed his hands down again, and the venue finally quieted down. The organizing committee came to me and said that many media wanted to see me speak, even many foreign media. This news really surprised me. When did I have such a big influence? Well, the organizing committee must give face. They invited me here, so they must show some sincerity, Su Pinggan said directly, and many people laughed out loud. The organizing committee looked at Su Pinggan and didn't know what to say. What can I say? I'll just talk about some of my practices and ideas. If there's anything that doesn't suit everyone's appetite, please forgive me. After Su Pinggan finished speaking, he made a gesture of cupping his hands. At this time, everyone in the front row began to shake their heads and laugh. This young man is really... I don't know how to describe it. Pressing his hands down, everyone quieted down again. The Apocalypse Group rose directly because of Dr. Leak of Poseidon Company. Now, because of the launch of the Super Paint product, it has reached a new level. It can be said that I am now very confident to intervene in various industries, holding a huge amount of cash. This is my confidence. When Su Pinggan said this, many people began to take it seriously. It can be said that everyone knows the financial strength of the Apocalypse Group. Although they don't know the specific figures, they can guess that it is absolutely terrifying. These are all brought to me by technological breakthroughs. Therefore, I now believe that technology can bring me profits like the Pacific Ocean. For this reason, I began to expand. Since the beginning of this year, I have begun to frequently acquire research institutes, and acquire laboratories. At present, I have spent more than 12 billion RMB and completed the layout of biological research laboratories, high-tech materials research institutes, renewable resources research institutes, and comprehensive technology research institutes, Su Pinggan said seriously. Many people took a breath of cold air. Damn, you kid actually spent so much money. You are stupid to play with research institutes and laboratories. However, if the laboratory makes a breakthrough, I will also take advantage of the situation. Should I also acquire 1 or 2 research institutes? These research institutes and laboratories are all from abroad. In China, H City has already started to build a technology headquarters, and a comprehensive laboratory for renewable resources will be built in J City. Currently, they are all under intensive construction. In the future, my Shyanki Group will have absolutely leading scientific and technological technologies. These high-tech technologies will be the foundation for my Shyanki Group to dominate the global market. At that time, I also plan to learn from the United States and wield the patent stick to see if it is sharp enough, Su Pinggan said directly. This time no one laughed, because everyone had heard Su Pinggan's ambition. With a large number of patented technologies, many companies will act according to the face of the Shyanki Group. It will be very difficult for you to surpass the Shyanki Group. Let's not talk about foreign countries, let's talk about domestic ones. You don't invest in research and development, you don't have the technology, I have it, so you have to act according to my mood. If I'm unhappy, I will directly revoke the patent authorization. Let's see what you can do to fight me. If you want to be free from my shackles, you have only one way out. Invest huge sums of money in product upgrades and have your own intellectual property rights. However, I am not very worried about this. I don't believe you have the courage to invest a large amount of money in scientific research." Hearing Su Pinggan say this, many people shook their heads. It is unrealistic to invest a large amount of money in scientific research. Now that their stalls are so big, the capital chain is very tight. Where can they invest in research and development? But if they don't invest in research and development, they will really have to look at Su Pinggan's face in the future. A person as old as me looks at the face of this young man and thinks about it in his mind. He feels unacceptable. Everyone has a serious face and has felt the pressure brought by Su Pinggan's words. The man sitting in the main seat nodded gently. Although Su Pinggan's words were a little crazy, they were also true. If you don't invest in technology research and development to upgrade products, Su Pinggan has made a breakthrough. You must act according to Su Pinggan's face. Let's see what you will do. The protection period of research and development patents is 20 years. I don't need more. Give me a few years. My funds dare to compete with any international large company. Even if you are a listed company, I dare to fight. With an income of more than 1 billion per month, I have the confidence. Sorry, the 1 billion income I said is euros, Su Pinggan added. Now too many people are not calm. Damn, with an income of more than 1 billion euros per month, are you going to give people a way to live? This is too scary. Su Pinggan didn't know that many media were live broadcasting today, and it was already flooding the screen at this moment. Too many netizens started to go crazy. You are too rich, and they were jealous and wanted to vomit blood. Many people think that speculating in real estate and finance can make money. In my opinion, investing in scientific research and development is the most profitable. If you make any breakthrough in research and convert it into a commodity, you can become a billionaire in minutes. If you are your own boss, you don't need to marry a beautiful and rich woman, and you can reach the peak of your life from now on, Su Pinggan said seriously. Using Lin Yide's words, if you don't pretend now, then when will you pretend? Pretend Mabo, Lin Yide, and Zhang Wenhun said at the same time, and the girlfriends around them all smiled when they saw the three of them so neat. The people on the organizing committee began to sweat again, and when they saw the person in the main seat smiled, they calmed down again. This Su Pinggan really dared to say anything, and didn't even consider what occasion it was. In the outside world, the title of real man began to flood the screen. Combined with Su Pinggan's start, Su Pinggan said the truth. Did Su Pinggan come into being because he invested funds in the research and development of Dr. Leek of the Sea God? Of course, many ordinary people don't have money. How can they invest in scientific and technological research and development? There is another way, which is to learn technology. As long as you have technology and want to research a project, come to me and I will invest in you. Of course, the project results must belong to me after success. I can give you a considerable bonus. You can see that Dr. Leck is very honest. So, if you have any good technology or entrepreneurial projects, just come to me, Su Pinggan said with a smile. On the internet, I advise the god to shake himself up and send down talents in all kinds of ways. This sentence began to sweep the screen. Su Pinggan was completely advertising himself. The person sitting in the main seat couldn't help laughing. His smile was very obvious. He helped the person next to him and said something with a smile on his face. Both of them laughed so hard that they couldn't close their mouths. This Su Pinggan is really a live treasure and knows how to use the platform. Chapter 150 Speech, Part 4. Do you think it's funny? You're wrong. I think it's a kind of sadness, a great sadness. When Su Pinggan said this, he slammed the table directly, and many people were stunned. Hong Hong's heart was even more in his throat. Su Pinggan was a little out of control. Uncle, please don't make trouble. My heart can't bear it. It's not just Hong, but also others. Su Pinggan looked at the people below and found that many people stopped laughing. Looking at Su Pinggan, they didn't understand what Su Pinggan meant by saying this. There is one thing I didn't want to say, but I thought about it seriously, and I'll say it, because it will be beneficial to the country if I say it. Su Pinggan said this with a serious face. The few people sitting in the middle looked serious. It must be no small matter to make Su Pinggan say something that is beneficial to the country. Although the angry young people sometimes speak without thinking, the patriotism of the angry young people is the most real. As for Su Pinggan's angry personality, many people have seen Chen Qingshan's report, and they are also mentally prepared for Su Pinggan to say something wrong when he speaks. If some domestic problems can be solved, the benefits will outweigh the disadvantages. Miao Yuan, I believe everyone knows about him with the launch of Super Paint, but do you know what he did before joining Apocalypse Group? I can tell you the truth. His job is to do odd jobs, responsible for sweeping the floor and cleaning in the institute. Are you surprised? Do you think I'm joking? I can tell you very sure that this is true. You can also ask Miao Yang after today to see if what I said is true. Su Pinggan said this calmly, and many people were surprised. Miao Yang, the inventor of Super Paint, was actually an odd job. How could this be possible? Too many people didn't dare to believe what Su Pinggan said, but Su Pinggan didn't look like he was lying. I can also tell you that I have signed contracts with many laboratories and domestic research institutes. Your research institutes don't want these talents, but I want them. When the J-City Renewable Resources Research Institute is completed, I will purchase the world's top experimental equipment and provide sufficient research funds so that they can conduct research with peace of mind. Of course, these people have resigned from their original laboratories. As for the personnel, I can tell you clearly that more than 100 people have signed contracts with my Shanky group, and there will be no legal problems. I want to let these research institutes see, you are outdated. You are the resistance to the advancement of our country's science and technology. The good days of relying on research on obsolete foreign technologies to obtain national financial subsidies and filing the technological gaps are over. Today, I declare war on you. Su Pinggan said this loudly. The expressions of the few people sitting in the main seats changed completely. They were shocked and extremely shocked. Are those research institutes so unbearable? This is not a trivial matter. Su Pinggan dared to say this, and he must know it very well. This matter must be investigated carefully and thoroughly. I'm sorry, I couldn't control my emotions for a moment, please forgive me. After Su Pinggan finished speaking, he leaned forward and bowed directly to the audience to express his apology. Pa 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 pa. The applause rang out again. Many people admired Su Pinggan for speaking the truth and gave him sincere applause. Su Pinggan returned to the podium and stood up, pressed his hands down, and soon quieted down. You are all entrepreneurs. After listening to me nagging for a long time, I will give you a benefit. In quite a few research institutes, many young people with real talents are doing odd jobs. Go and poach them quickly. Maybe you can find the next Miao Yang. If you really succeed, your company will be the next Shanky Group. Thank you for listening to me nagging. After Su Pinggan finished speaking, he bowed again and ended his speech. The warmest applause since the beginning of the forum appeared for Su Pinggan, who spoke the truth today. As for Su Pinggan's poaching, he must try it after returning. What if a Miao Yang really appears? He will be rich. The outside world was in uproar. What Su Pinggan said caused a great uproar. The water in the research institute was so deep. Was there anything wrong? Many people believed that what Su Pinggan said was true. If it was not true, why were there so few scientific and technological achievements? All the breakthroughs were made abroad. Are the Chinese people so bad? The media were really happy, especially the network companies that were broadcasting live. Looking at the traffic data in the background, they couldn't help laughing. Su Pinggan was really awesome. The traffic driven by a live broadcast was equivalent to the traffic in a normal month. It was terrifying. The forum was over. Su Pinggan left the backstage to meet Mabo and others. Lin Yai directly punched Su Pinggan, then gave Su Pinggan a thumbs up, and finally said awesome. Several people talked and laughed and went to eat together. Su Pinggan must treat them today. So he had to treat them. Su Pinggan agreed directly, and everyone headed for a more private restaurant. Su Pinggan was happy, but the people in the organizing committee were not at ease at all. Some even regretted inviting Su Pinggan. They had just received a notice to hold a meeting that they had to attend. It was estimated that they would be scolded. After more than 2 hours of meetings, the organizing committee members were all confused. The superiors actually affirmed the success of the forum, especially the comments on Su Pinggan's speech, which made people deeply awake, and also gave praise. This result was unexpected by no one. The next day, the speech about Su Pinggan was completely fermented, and the internet began to explode again. This time, many people jumped out, and many experts and professors began to criticize Su Pinggan, because Su Pinggan touched their core interests. How could they give up easily hundreds of thousands of dollars in a year? In addition to these, there is also a popular video, I want to give birth to a baby for you. The click rate of this video completely suppressed everything. Many people liked this video, and various charts were directly slaughtered and rushed. The video was sent by a hair salon in the Magic City. Lucy was the protagonist of the video. Su Pingan took a photo with Lucy and was kissed by Lucy. Su Pingan's stunned expression was very clear. Afterwards, Lucy made a supplementary recording, shouting loudly, "I want to give birth to a baby for you." The two videos were directly merged into one and uploaded to the internet. The circumstances under which the videos were filmed were also explained. And it went viral immediately. Many people would not have thought that Su Pingan had such a side to him. That dazed expression was very cute, and coupled with Lucy's unrestrained and bold words, it completely went viral. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.